Noah trying to make things happen as he gets ready for the command to roll around the racetrack. As we take a look at the starting grid, it'll be Riley Herbst and A.J. Allmendinger making up row one. A.J., the most recent winner in the Xfinity Series, won at Portland the last race.
Yeah, Noah will start alongside his teammate Justin Allgaier in row 3, a pair of Junior Motorsports cards, and then the hometown guy, Josh Berry, back in row 5 from Henderson, Tennessee.
Go a little bit further back, the row 6, Jeffrey Earnhardt, Landon Castle, another one of the college drivers there, Castle.
A lot of excitement back there in row 9. He'll be going to the rear after breaking that engine by a missed shift to practice, but Tyler Reddick has already won in this 48. Going to be excitement early starting at the back.
And we'll continue to go through the grid as we dial up Noah Gragson on the radio, Junior.
Hey, Noah, it's guys up here in the booth. You got us?
Yes, sir. Got you loud and clear.
So we saw some pretty tough conditions in qualifying. What do you think about this racetrack today? How slick is it?
Yeah, it's pretty good yesterday in practice. I know the truck guys, they kind of had their own problems in qualifying and practice, just being a slick track. And then when we got on the track, there's a lot of grip, I thought, being one of the first cars out. So this morning, pretty slick for our qualifying, and a little too loose for the lap that we wanted, but I don't know. I think it's going to lay down rubber here. Hopefully move up to the Y. I think that'd be pretty cool. Give us some different options. But overall, our 50th anniversary Bass Pro Shop Camaros, pretty good yesterday. And Luke Lambert, the rest of these boys, they're the real deal. Can't thank them all enough for all the hard work. And we got the Xfinity onboard camera today, so hopefully give you guys a good show.
Well, your temperature in the car right now, 104 degrees. Yesterday in practice, over 125 degrees. How concerned are you with that?
Broadway's treated me pretty well this week, so definitely hydrated and ready to go. We'll be all right.
All right, buddy. We'll have a good race. Thank you, Noah, for talking to us.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Pretty interesting when you tell your boss that the local establishment's main road was pretty good for him.
Broadway.
Broadway was good.
Maybe
for
he
him.
meant that he decided not to go down.
That's how I took it
this week.
Okay.
Hydrated.
However you want to take
the
it.
H2O.
Sure.
Glass half full, Junior.
I love it. All right, before we get the green flag, let's go to pit road and start with Parker.
And one of the drivers that Noah's going to have to beat would be A.J. Allmendinger in that number 16 car, who comes into this race as the regular season points leader with 2 wins. So you might think they're feeling good about their speed. That is not the case. About a month ago, Colleague Racing came together knowing that they did not have the speed. They had to work on these cars, and they've been working on them ever since. A.J. told me, though, after yesterday's practice, they may have found some things in his car. Then he went out and sat on the front row there, qualifying second, and felt that speed. And I asked him, okay, so you have the speed in qualifying. What will you need to see in the race to know you guys have really found the speed that you need in these cars? He said, if we can be in the top 5 on speed and stay there, obviously with a great starting position second, we'll see if that comes true for AJ and this Colleague Racing team, Dave.
Parker, one of the organizations that had a lot of speed in the Xfinity Series have been the Junior Motorsports cars, one of which is Justin Allgaier. And remember Justin, he's one of the old dogs in this sport, right? So back when Nashville Superspeedway was racing years ago, before the 10-year break, he was here. He's got lots of experience on this track. He knows what he wants. Plus, lately the car's just been to his liking. And with the speed that the organization has had, Marty, the 7 car, has a good shot of winning today in Music City.
Hey, Dave, speaking of the JRM cars, Josh Berry wants this race desperately. Maybe outside of Daytona, this is the one he wants the most. Why? Well, Steve mentioned it a moment ago. He's from Hendersonville, Tennessee. Grew up 40 minutes from this racetrack. Watched Xfinity races here when he was a kid and would love to get to victory lane here. And they have been on an absolute tear in the 8 car lately. 2 wins in the last 5 races. And a lot of people in the garage area say long runs. They think the 8 car could be the one to beat this afternoon. And to boot, Rick, last year he almost won this race. He told me, I got so close. We had a taste of it. This is one I want bad.
Yeah, 4th a year ago. Thanks, Marty. 2 wins already this season. And how do you win? Well, let's take a look at the Ruoff Mortgage Keys to Victory Lane.
Well, it starts and ends on pit road. Performance by the pit crew is going to matter. You don't have to be the best. You just can't take your driver out of it, guys. You just have to be clean, smooth stops.
Trying to manage the heat. That starts at the shop, working with your team with a plan to keep that under control inside the car. Watch the end of this race. Who gets out looking good and in shape, and who pours out of the rocker panel?
Yeah, so restarts are going to be huge. We see it every single week on this racetrack with the tire build-up. If you get a restart on old tires, who can get those tires cleaned off and make them stick driving into turn one? If you get track position, you cannot give it up on a restart. Got to execute.
All right, let's listen into the 18 and see what the pep talk has been like for Trevor Bayne.
Hey guys, stay hydrated in there, stay ready to go. Let's execute better than we ever have today though. It takes every single piece. Just help me on pit road. Jason, I'll try to give you the best feedback I can. See if you can help me move around. Just have a great day guys, get it done.
All right, they're going to go around one more time before we get the green flag.
So this being the largest concrete track in NASCAR, 1.3 miles, you know, we've talked a lot about the surface. You mentioned it, Junior, right? Tire rubber going down, coming up. One interesting thing, though, is that we just got a heavy rain shower. You wouldn't believe it if you're just tuning in. It looks like a beautiful day. Really out of nowhere, heavy downpour. They drive the racetrack, but in that process, they also blow all that rubber off the racetrack. So as a race car driver, Junior, confidence in the grip at turn one or questioning the grip?
I think more confident than I was this morning when I saw those guys driving down that dusty back straightaway in qualifying. So the track's really clean. It should have pretty good grip being green like this. It's going to rubber up really fast, but like you say, if you ever watched the races at Dover, this track's going to turn really dark in the corners to the wall, and then they're going to take it all back up, Jeff, under caution with those hot tires. And trying to keep those tires clean if you have to restart on those same old tires is going to be real critical.
It'll be really difficult to do. But the mindset of Trevor Bayne right there, talking to his spotter, Stevie Reeves, help me move around. What he's saying is we're expecting this racetrack to change, have multiple grooves. Stevie, when you see those guys moving and they're making lap time somewhere else, you've got to let me know so I can get there as well.
Up on the flag stand, former Tennessee Titan Blaine Bishop is going to be giving them the initial green flag to get this race underway. And the fans up on their feet, like you mentioned, Steve. Sun beating down on the racetrack. The fans, it's a beautiful afternoon for racing. About to get underway here at Nashville. Up front, it's Riley Herbst and A.J. Allmendinger, and we're racing in Tennessee.
Riley sounded like he got in the chip a little bit there, had to defend. Getting down into turn one. It's going to give A.J. a little edge here off of two. Riley coming back on the inside, side by side down the back straightaway.
It's going to be really tough for this 98 car on the bottom of the 16 of A.J. A.J. gave him a lot of room getting in the corner, so it didn't pull the air off of him getting into turn three.
Noah sliding up the racetrack back here, three wide.
Oh, not a lot of room. Contact made. Allgaier in the middle.
Teammates there, three wide. Noah chops the nose off of the 19, Brandon Jones.
Patient. Lap 2 of a 188-lap race.
Exit of 4 is really tight just for two cars, much less going three wide through there. Difficult to do.
Allgaier still a little bit higher, right up against the wall as he comes out of 4. Up front, though, it's A.J. Allmendinger continuing what he left off with at Portland, leading the field here in the Xfinity Series. Riley Herbst running second. Trevor Bayne is third. Austin Hill is fourth. And Jeff Burton rounding out the top 5.
Allgaier getting underneath Jeff Burton there. We're going to look at the contact here. Let's see how it happens. Josh Berry comes underneath. Doesn't quite give his two teammates on the outside quite enough room. Justin almost out of control there.
It didn't seem like a lot of contact was made there, though, between. I mean, it was really close.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, though, to have a problem with the tire. Certainly don't want to have that happening early in the race like this.
Saw Brandon Jones in the 19. As we look back from Noah Gragson, he was taking a peek to the outside of the 9.
Right now, everybody's locked on the bottom of the racetrack. Groove has not opened up yet. You mentioned that rain, Steve. It'll take just a little while for this racetrack to widen out.
Great view from this Xfinity camera off the back of Gregson's number 9.
And if you're struggling right now really to find pace, just pin this car right on the bottom. Make those guys have to go around the outside to pass you. Where there really is no second groove, so they're kind of forced to follow you in that dirty air.
You can beat defenses that way. The other thing, the cleaner racetrack to start, it's going to make your adjustments more difficult. You know, those first stage, 45 laps. But how much is the track changing, and how much do you think it's going to continue to change? It's a little bit of a guess on these concrete surfaces. That's why it's very important to kind of have a smooth 45 laps. You only get a couple shots at it in the Xfinity Series for making adjustments. Not like the Cup Series. 3 pit stops is basically all we're going to see today, I assume.
Right up on the back bumper there. Yeah, Brandon Jones making an aggressive move on Gregson, but it backed him up.
Yeah, it cost him. He tried to drive up to the 9 of Gregson to take the air off his spoiler, and it didn't hurt the 9. It hurt the 19. The 19, now the 10 on the bottom loose, but trying to make it, that's a smart move to try to make, to pull the air off of that car to get him loose.
Landon Castle couldn't make the pass on the inside, gets loose. Now Gibbs underneath him for the position. Jeffrey Earnhardt sits here behind these two guys, waiting on them to settle it out. Castle able to fall back into line. Everybody just trying to stay right on the bottom. This is the traditional Nashville Superspeedway that we know from years ago. You have to imagine, though, as the rubber starts to get laid down on this track, they'll try to go toward the clean air or the clean surface. Moving up the racetrack, here's a replay of that 19 trying to get down in the corner. He's hoping that this right here is going to move. He won't even have to make contact with that right there, just getting that close will move that 9 car up the racetrack. Didn't work.
Austin Hill trying to close the gap on Justin Allgaier. Hill in the 21, Allgaier in the 7.
They're starting to move around a little bit. Good sign for us. This track's widening out already. You see the rubber going down.
Parker.
And Dale, you've been referencing the track moving up a little bit just from last night running the truck race. I can tell you that it's about 5-8 laps or so in a run that you started to see that outside groove come in. It was really hard to make it work before that. It was just too greasy up there, and I expect to see it come in probably in 1 and 2 first, and then eventually in 3 and 4, as you alluded to. It was all about just escaping the rubber. You wanted to get as far away from it as you could. As you see the 27 of Jeff Burton way up the racetrack in 3 and 4, trying to work in that top groove. It might be a little early for that right now, but as we get past 10 laps of a run each time, I really think that outside groove will start to move up.
Yeah, Jeff has actually been able to hold off Josh Berry from behind. Josh Berry was all over him. Jeb moved to the top of the racetrack with that 3rd lane, and when he did that, he was able to start gapping Josh Berry. Josh catches him getting into the corner. Jeb gets into the corner easy. Josh drives in and beats him through the middle, but Jeb was running that top lane. Now he's gone to the bottom, was able to drive back away from him.
Yeah, and there's a battle for 3rd. Similar situation right here. Justin Allgaier's moved up the track and now has ran down. Trevor Bayne going to go around the outside here. He's using a higher line. Found some pace there to drive away from Austin Hill. Be able to move up here and take 3rd place. Now, as he's moving forward, like you mentioned at the top of the show, the spotter for Herbst, the spotter for Allmendinger, they need to be telling AJ, look, Herbst, all the way up the track. He's going up there because the spotter probably gave him that information. The 7's making time and running you down.
Out front, it's AJ Allmendinger. It's the most laps AJ has led on an oval since Atlanta. That was 15 races.
In Nashville Superspeedway, the NASCAR Xfinity Series is in action. Stage 1 underway. I'm Jesse Punch. I'll be here the rest of the weekend bringing you live updates from the track. When you're looking at our top of our lineup here, you'll notice Trevor Bayne is back in the field tonight. Trevor not running anymore at a full-time capacity. Some could say he's stepping out of retirement for a few runs here and there, but this is the first time we've seen him in an Xfinity Series ride since Charlotte a few weeks ago. He's back here tonight, qualified 3rd. And of the runs that we've seen from Trevor Bayne, he has top 10 in 3 of his 4 starts this season. Also picked up 2 stage wins and even was on the pole at Phoenix. So for a guy that says he's retired, his frequent return to the racetrack has been pretty impressive. Trevor Bayne, fun to see him back in the field tonight.
NASCAR on USA is brought to you by Credit One Bank, the credit card company, and by Ford. Built Ford proud. Gap closes now between the 7 of Justin Allgaier and the 16 of A.J. Allmendinger for the lead here at Nashville.
Justin's been using the higher side of the racetrack, but now A.J.'s moved up there and taking that line away. You can see the 7 sideways right there through the middle of 3 and 4.
Moving up right there, you've hurt his air.
That's the information to AJ. Moving up, you've hurt his air. You're taking his line away. Wonder if Justin will try to go even higher. You know, that would be my response. If he's moved up, I'll move up higher.
The lane you're running now is taking his air, so we're all good right here.
AJ's managing the gap.
Now, the danger in running higher is if the track's not ready. You know, if you try to run that 3rd or 4th lane and it's not ready, you could get yourself into the wall. That's the danger in Allgaier trying that.
Yep, big risk.
Now it's less than a car length separating the top 2.
He's all over him right here.
Here he goes a little bit higher. He's going to try to turn down, come up underneath him off the corner. AJ struggling a little bit for grip on the long run. He talked about that. He loved the early run speed, the fire-off speed they had. Wasn't sure about their car on the long run here.
New leader. Allgaier had his nose in front of the 16. Here comes Allmendinger back on the inside.
Yeah, I think the 7 almost in the fence on the corner exit there. Boy, that was close. But I think he went up the track to try get back to his groove, get back to where he's comfortable.
That's an impressive pass by the 7. The front tire is working very, very good. You know, it's easy to say, you know, turn down underneath Allmendinger, but most of the time your car doesn't want to change direction like that. That tells me that that's the strength of this 7 car. The front tires continue to work well into a run.
This battle right here has been going on for a while, Jeff.
Yeah, these guys had a big disagreement at Portland the last race, and now here they are, as it always happens, battling for position. Noah seems to be a little bit quicker. I'm sorry, Gibbs seems to be a little bit quicker than Noah, but Noah's doing a nice job of holding him off.
While these two are racing, Sam Mayer's closing the gap. While we were at break, this was the encounter between the 2.
Oh, wow.
Noah closed the door a little bit there on Ty.
And the other guy that's been in the mix with these 2 is Sam Mayer. That's where he is. Right in the middle of it.
Yeah, Sam came from 21st. So he's got some good pace in that car, but definitely the 9's holding up the 54 pretty big here.
Halfway through the first stage from Nashville for the Xfinity Series, and a good battle here for position.
This is a good move by the 54 to the top of the racetrack. Almost able to get to the right rear quarter panel. Now he's going to go back to the bottom. I don't know if he can make the pass down there. Looks like 9's going to let him have it. Oh, he's going to slide up in front of Noah. Bet Noah probably didn't appreciate that much. I think Noah was kind of letting him have that move.
That slowed Noah down, and now Sam Mayer right in striking distance behind them.
I agree with Junior. I think that Noah was conceding the position, which is going to make that move by the 54 that much more frustrating for the 9. He like extended the olive branch in the battle and said, here, I'll give you the spot, and yet you slapped the olive branch out of my hand and slid me up the racetrack.
Well, before he gave him the olive branch, he side drafted him and doored him down the front straightaway.
He did do that. He did do that. Now Noah's sliding back to the one-car Mayer here. Noah's in big trouble with the balance of this car. Looking at the top of the screen, the battle for second place between Allmendinger and Herbst. Herbst having a great run today. Qualified really good, set on the pole, hanging in here in the top 3. Parker.
Well, guys, it's been interesting listening to the 16 radio for AJ, just listening to how they've conducted things the last 6 or so laps. Before, when the 7 was catching, he wanted the updates and where the 7 was running. Then as the 7 got closer, they obviously were instructing him to move up there. He wanted lap times because he said he was searching, and now, since the 7 has gone by, and he remarked, that car's a rocket. His car has gone very free and getting continually freer as you see him get really loose off of turn 4 the last couple laps, Dave.
And Parker, you see Riley Herbst just tracking him down on the corner entry there. He was told by his team, and based on what the spotter was telling him from up high and what they were seeing on the track, your corner entry is too shallow. Center of the corner, you're matching him great, but you need to arc it in a little bit better, and then you'll gain the speed you need to pull up to the 16 and then potentially to the leader now, Allgaier, Marty.
Dave, maybe not the speed Josh Berry expected, just up to 7th so far, but radio issues certainly do not help. Listen.
Now it's just steady, static.
Jeff, that is what the radio sounds like for the 8 team right now. I'm sure Josh Berry not having fun behind the wheel with that going on in his ear constantly, and they still can't get a message to him to change to channel 2.
I mean, trying to focus with all that going on, and then on top of that, you see him racing Jeff for position, wanting some help from his spotter, just wanting some information. I mean, that is chaos going inside of his head.
Yeah, I think I can hear him over the radio going, yo, yo, like nobody's talking to me.
Well, so how does that happen, right? Well, teams have radios. Spotters on the roof communicate through a radio. The crew chief does. Some radios are listen only, like a scanner the fans use, but the team radios have the ability to talk and listen. It could be a crew member on the button. It could be a radio in the cabinet in the truck. It could actually, I have seen it be not even a team radio, but another company near the racetrack who's very close to their frequency and have bleed over. So it is very frustrating. It's your only line of communication, Marty, from crew chief to spotter to driver during the race.
Steve, it's gotten worse. Now the radio that's stuck open is Josh Berry's radio. So now the whole team hears car audio going around the racetrack. So Josh is hearing that as well, and they still can't get a message to him. That's got to be frustrating.
Well, you think that's worse? I think that's better, actually, because if it's Josh's stuck open, he's not hearing it. You can't hear when your own button keys up. So Josh probably doesn't even know his radio's keyed up. He's probably wondering why no one's talking to him.
Yeah, and the first thing that I think is changing the steering wheel button, right? I mean, that's the first line of defense going to fix this.
Yeah, right, because, you know, the steering wheels get taken off. We had practice yesterday. How many times did it get put on the dash? Was it damaged? Anything can make that happen. This battle continues to run for second.
2.4 seconds separating 1 and 2, but it's very tight for this fight between second and third.
Here live from Nashville Superspeedway. You're hearing the reported radio problems for the 8 of Josh Berry. Unfortunate circumstances for that 8 team who's been on quite a roll recently, winning 2 of the last 5 races. Josh Berry is locked into the playoffs and is definitely on his way to being a big contender here in this second half of this season. Now, I will say, Josh Berry, this is only his first full-time season in the Xfinity Series. Came from the Junior Motorsports late model program, and since the Xfinity Series has been on the track, Josh has been in victory lane. He picked up a late model win for Junior at Hickory Motor Speedway last weekend. Once again, that 8 team of Josh Berry in a good spot overall this season, but reporting radio issues here early on at his home track of Nashville Superspeedway.
You can go inside the headset with access to NASCAR Scanner for only $2.99 a month. You can listen in on the pit strategy, spotter communication, there's crew chief calls, and what your favorite driver has to say during the race. You can log into the app and use on your mobile device. Visit NASCAR.com/scanner for you to start your subscription today. Our aerial coverage brought to you by Geico as we look down on the best battle on the track right now. It's for second, and it's been going on for quite some time. Riley Herbst has been patient, but you can tell that he's faster than AJ right now.
Yeah, frustration is starting to set in. Look what's stacking him up behind him. Riley knows he needs to make this pass right here. If he doesn't, he could lose 3 spots. Trying to throttle up, trying to get the back of the car to set so he can get by Allmendinger, but Allmendinger powering by, and here they come on the outside.
Goes up there to block Austin Hill. Hill to the bottom, into 1. Hill's not going to be able to make the pass, I don't think, down there. Just so hard. Look at Hill sideways. Going to lose a position here to the 18 of Bain down the back straightaway.
Allmendinger staying up high, running about the highest line we've seen.
Yeah, that was up out of the groove a little bit. AJ moving that groove in 3 and 4 higher and higher.
AJ's planted that thing on the top. He's like, no, man, if you want to go, go ahead. I'm going to give you 2 or 3 lanes to my left, but you are not going to get to my right rear quarter panel.
And Riley, it's frustrating for any race car driver because
have to get him loose. We ain't gonna be able to pass him on the bottom. Be awful tough. So
gonna
it's all good, man. We're running third here. Take care of it. Be smart.
Okay, so
try
I
to
like
loosen him up here.
I like those 2 radios, Jeff. I do not like the encouragement to get him loose. Although he's trying it.
He sure is.
But now he's got to clear him. Like now he's got a good run. Here comes a big push from Bain.
Bain's like, I'm gonna push AJ on by, and I'm gonna try to pass you like I passed Austin Hill on the outside.
See how easy Riley had to get in the corner on the bottom, and that's just going to cost him a spot right here.
And to go back to the radio, the reason I say I don't like the radio to get him loose is I just think we talk about this as the under series. This is the beginning series, the younger drivers. I don't think you need to encourage the drivers to be more aggressive. We're only 38 laps into the race. I would have been preaching just more patience. You're still running inside the top 5. I like the second radio that kind of was preaching just be patient. We still have time.
What about the slide job? I mean, we see AJ running up there that high. Can you come in and dive in on one of the either turns 1 or 3?
Well, AJ seems to be getting into the corner pretty good, so you're not going to overdrive the corner and beat him in. Probably going to drive up into his left front fender. You definitely don't want to upset a guy like that this early in the race, like Steve said. Now, what does Trevor Bain do? Herbst's trying to get to the outside of the 18 here. Is he able to do it? Trevor shuts the door. Trevor Bain's now in a position where he has to drive a little defensively. He doesn't want to let anybody on his outside quarter let the 98 get back by him, but he's got to try to figure out a way around this 16. He's going to hound his left rear quarter panel and try to make him loose.
And right here is when now Riley's saying, okay, I couldn't make that pass on the bottom. I don't think you can either. So I'm going to go with Allmendinger on the outside. Hope Allmendinger can stay next to you.
There you go.
Bain drove in deep. Allmendinger got loose. Bain spot. And now, because Allmendinger got loose, now Riley's got a chance. So now Riley's got to do the same thing that Trevor just did. He's got to overdrive this entry. He's got to push the issue here and slide up in front of Allmendinger.
Is he going to clear him? He will. Will the crossover happen? Will we see AJ try to get back on the inside? He's not going to do it this time.
AJ's just hanging on out there. His car is not handling good here.
Keep in mind for Riley Herbst, he's 11th in points. The top 12 in points make the playoffs. Every stage point matters, only 4 to go. So Riley's out there fighting for his playoff life.
Are you guys surprised at all at who's up front as we're getting close to the end of the stage? Junior Motorsports car. They've won the last 10 stages on ovals. This will be number 11 if Allgaier can hang on.
And I don't know what it is about Justin Allgaier and concrete. Bristol and Dover and now Nashville. A lot of people communicate about this surface and how they feel it differently or lack of feel. Whatever it is that Allgaier has, either in his setup, his style, or a combination of the two, it's consistent when it comes to the concrete surface.
Most race car drivers grew up on asphalt. None of us really have a lot of experience with a concrete surface until we come to racing at this level. Some guys it suits really well. Some guys never really do get comfortable with it.
And in Colleague Racing, we came into this race talking about how big of gains they have made, how much better they are. Here we see Allmendinger backing up. He's back to 4th with Austin Hill all lowering for 5th. And then behind him, you've got Hemrick in 12th and Castle in 13th, both losing spots late in this run also.
You mentioned Justin Allgaier leading. This is off turn 4 a couple laps ago. See how high he gets. Wow. I'm going to go with no harm, no foul. Closer than perhaps he had liked.
Well, the same guy, he had contact earlier in the race, so he doesn't mind leaning on the sides of this car a little bit. You think he'd be out there taking it easy with such a big lead. Justin doesn't have but one speed. It's wide open all the time, runs really, really hard behind the wheel of that race car.
Going to try to put the 78s of Josh Williams a lap down. Race leader Allgaier in the 7 on the top of the screen. Now we're seeing the move by Jeb Burton to the outside of Noah Gragson, trying to take that position away.
Noah's been trying to get by Jeb for a while now. Jeb working real hard on the right side of that 9 car, trying to keep this position with just a few laps left.
A slower car in front of him.
You know, this for 10th, the last spot.
Last spot to get stage points. Allmendinger on the high side of the 21 of Austin Hill, and it will go Justin Allgaier winning stage 1. Battle between Hill and Allmendinger goes to Allmendinger. Noah Gragson able to hang on for 10th. So stage 1 complete from Nashville, and it's Justin Allgaier who gets the win. That is a streak of 11 straight stages for Junior Motorsports on ovals in 2022. Can he hang on and get his 2nd win of the season? He battled with Kyle Busch a year ago. Kyle Busch isn't in the field. It's Allgaier winning here.
Stage 1 is complete here at Nashville Superspeedway, and that marks stage win number 16 of the season for Junior Motorsports. Justin Allgaier getting stage win 16, excuse me. They've won 11 of the last 13 stage wins on ovals. Now Justin's still looking for his first win of the season. In fact, still looking for his first win in over a year. But he finished runner-up last year here at Nashville, so off to a good start here early today for that 17.
Make sure to download the official app of NASCAR. You can follow the action with free live scoring, in-car cameras, and radio broadcasts. Upgrade to premium for full access to driver audio channels and completely ad-free experience. Just search NASCAR in your app store to download, and you can start a free trial. As the field making its way onto pit road, let's go to Dave.
leader and stage winner. Justin Allgaier had a 6-second lead, but he wanted a little bit of help on the exit of the corner. Increased air pressure to the left rear tire. Marty.
Dave, those radio issues for Josh Berry cleared up in the last 5 laps, so they have elected to not change the radio here. They're going to check the wire harness, though. They think some water got in the wire harness, and that was the issue, Parker, but sounding good so far.
For A.J. Allmendinger in the 16th, the bottom of your screen, you see that big adjustment in the right rear. Super loose, just burning off the right rear of that car immediately as he goes back to throttle. Far too early in the run. 4 Goodyear tires for him, and it looks like Justin Allgaier will lead them off pit road.
Brandon Jones in the 19 looks like they had a pretty good stop, gained 5 spots on pit road. So Allgaier wins the race off pit road. Big move, though, for Jones.
Stage 1 is complete, pit stops are complete, and we are getting ready to head into stage 2 here in just a minute. Austin Hill, the rookie for RCR, driving that 21 Chevrolet. He finished 5th in the stage. Now Austin is a rookie in the series, but he does have experience here. He ran this race at Nashville last season. We caught up with Austin's crew chief, Andy Street, earlier this week about his preparations for Nashville and his confidence in Austin, having already put down some laps at this racetrack.
Well, he's had some experience in the past with some Xfinity cars over at HRE, so that kind of shortened the learning curve in general for us. And he does a really good job managing the car and managing his tires, which is a lot of the learning curve for the guys coming from the truck series. And he realizes a little bit these things have a little bit less downforce, and it's more kind of driver input driven than just wide open type racing like the trucks are. So he's done a really good job for us. Like, he has a lot of confidence going into tracks where he had run the Hattori car, and I feel like it's carried over to us, and his confidence is really high right now. So it's been good for us. He gives good feedback, and he's a good cheerleader for the team as well. He gets up on the wheel and gets the job done when time calls.
Austin started the season strong with a win at Daytona, so as far as playoffs go, that team is locked in. Stage points and steady runs are their focus. Off to a good start then here today in Nashville.
You're watching the NASCAR Xfinity Series Tennessee Lottery 250. Let's go down to pit road and check in on the Peacock pit box with Brad Doherty and Dale Jarrett.
Yeah, Brad, we talk about the young guys and their impact on this sport so far. Well, the 2 guys that led every lap in that stage, A.J. Allmendinger, 40. Justin Allgaier, 36. With a lot of experience there on these type of tracks. Dale Jr. was talking about some guys adapt better to concrete surfaces because you don't really get to race on that. Justin Allgaier is one of those guys. I believe my memory's right. He won his first Xfinity race years ago at Bristol on the concrete, and he just really seems to do a great job here.
Yeah, you know, the rain comes through, washes all the rubber off the racetrack. Now all of a sudden we got a green racetrack. You're absolutely right. The veteran guys go out and attack. But it's interesting watching Noah Gregson and Sam Mayer and Ty Gibbs mix it up. That's an interesting story to continue to watch as we go throughout the day. I think they're all going to be there, but they're going to have to beat those old guys, so to speak, the old 36 and 37-year-olds.
Yeah, that's really old, Doug. Yeah, so I think this racetrack is going to change, but right now, a big change. Rutledge Wood is downtown Nashville, so let's go down and see what Rutt's got for us with City View.
Oh, Dale, this is amazing. I'm down here at Tootsie's every Saturday afternoon. They have auditions for people to try out and be a part of the house band eventually. Right now, there's a 12-year-old singing and playing guitar for Sweet Child of Mine, and it reminds me of Trevor Bain, who's from 2.5 hours down the road in Knoxville. He started racing go-karts when he was 5 years old, spent 8 years doing that before he moved up to stock cars, eventually Xfinity Cup Series, and the Daytona 500 winner. And I think this 12-year-old would agree that if Trevor could win that trophy today, get that guitar home for him, his wife, and their 4 kids, it would make that Tennessee native real happy, guys.
That's cool, right? Yeah, a 20-year-old, the youngest ever Daytona 500 winner, Trevor Bain, and Rut's right now listening to a 12-year-old singing there at Tootsie's. We saw that a wheel came off or got free from a team.
Oh boy.
Yeah, might have got hit right there.
Yeah, Riley Herbst, as he turns in, it looked like he made contact with the tire carrier. Dave.
Steve, he did. That's Joe Hicks sitting down with the helmet off. He's been attended to by medical crew here. He says he's good to go, but he did get dinged.
So, Dave, that is the pit crew member for Trevor Bain. Is that right? He's pitting.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep,
I want to have my
correct.
order. So, basically, Herbst hits the tire carrier, or at least the tire of Trevor Bain's. I wondered how Trevor, he lost some spots, now running 12th on the start.
Back to work. Andy Ashbeck giving the green flag to the field here as we get back underway with stage 2 from Nashville.
Big move by Sam Mayer in the 1. Turn left, got to the inside of the 98. Now he's inside the 19 back there in the second row. Great move out of the youngster, 18 years old. And I will say, when I look at drivers and maturity, I think this one is on the biggest curve this year. Sam Mayer, tons of talent, but Junior, he's definitely found a way in the last couple months to get that talent and his car to the finish line.
A little contact there maybe with his teammate off of turn 4, but Sam was pretty rough on the equipment early on this year, but has found a rhythm and has been able to reel off some great finishes, some great runs, get more and more confidence in himself. Marty.
And Junior talking to the folks on his team, they love how this young man is willing to go find pace anywhere he needs to go find pace in that race car. He's willing to put it at risk, no doubt about it. What they want him to do, though, is the last 10% of the race. Steve, sometimes for a young driver, that's the biggest part of the formula. How do you finish it off? Yes, they can run top 5, but how do you cross that next goal and get the win?
Yeah, you know, the problem is driving a race car is one thing, speeding a race car is one thing. I think the hardest thing to learn, because the only way I know how to learn is to try it, and that's racecraft. That is to learn what 188 laps at Nashville feels like, to understand the length of these races. Sam, look, like we said, his talent is there. He's in this car for that reason. But 188 laps at 18 years old is a long race.
I talked to Sam Mayer this week and asked him about all that, and he said, hey, look, the biggest problem was I had no practice. I didn't have ARCA races. I didn't have truck races. I didn't have a chance. And then I came into the series where there was no practice. I had never been on a 1.5 miles before. So just a steep learning curve.
And Parker, we saw the 16 restart 25th. What happened to them?
Right, so you see him coming back to the field right now, currently in 18th. He sped on pit road, but here's the interesting part. His teammates, Landon Castle and Daniel Hemrick, also sped on pit road. So all 3 Kaulig racing cars sped on pit road in different sections under those pit stops at the end of stage 1. So they might have to figure out some of their settings there in terms of what they set their gauges at for the Kaulig racing cars.
Parker talks about settings, no speedometer in these cars. You use the RPM. It's basically the calculated speed. You know how much RPM the engine will turn in second gear. Whatever they're using for math seems to be either incorrect or too aggressive if they're getting 3 of their cars caught on the first caution. These 3 are battling.
Yeah, Trevor Bain going in between the 2. The other 2 cars that were caught for speeding, Sheldon Creed in the 2 and the 38 of Kyle Sieg also speeding on pit road.
It's like that speed camera in your neighborhood, Rick. It's getting everyone.
It got him and hit the Kaulig racing team hard.
And the interesting thing is, so we talk about those Kaulig cars. Well, you know, Allmendinger's recovering slowly up to the top 15, where the 10 and the 11 are still stuck outside the top 20. So
out front, it's Allgaier. He's got about a little over a half-second lead over Ty Gibbs. Then Mayer and Herbst continue to battle for 3rd. Austin Hill, Josh Berry, Noah Gregson, Trevor Bain, all in the 6th, 7th, and 8th range.
Ty Gibbs is the only guy really been able to match the speed of Allgaier in the 7 car, running almost identical lap times the last time by 31.80s. The rest of the field in the 90s and 32-second bracket.
And that shows you how important pit stops, restarts, all those things are. Gibbs was nowhere near the leader before those exchange of pit stops. He had a good pit stop. Other people had penalties, had a good restart, and now here he is in second in much cleaner air. Can now understand what his car needs to do better to win this race. Track position is king. It was in the 80s, the 90s, and it is now. And they found a way to get it on pit road, and he did a great job on restart.
Nowhere is the racing any tougher than right here. We're looking at sort of the middle of the pack, back half of the field. And these guys race, I think, harder. I've been out there with them, Jeff, and they race harder in the back half of the field than you'll experience in the front half.
But to be candid, Dale, don't you believe that these positions are harder than they were years past? We talk a depth of field. I believe 2 years ago a Collin car could drive right back up to, say, 15th or 12th. Now, this is back outside the top 20, and this is far from easy for these cars. You know, front to back, this Xfinity field is as equal as we've seen it.
I think that, and there's a ton of pride in the back half of that field. Those guys, that's small teams. Anytime they get around some of these teams with more funding, they work hard to try to race them.
And they talk about the fact that they are racing each other. They're racing against each other. A lot of them aren't thinking, you know, we're going to go out and win this race, but they are racing amongst a group of teams that they're like, all right, we're going to finish ahead of those guys this week.
I know where there was some pride when our man down there ran Martinsville. They had a chance to run him. They were like, oh, yeah, this is my shot. I'm going to run him door to door as long as I can. Oh.
Big move there by A.J. Allmendinger. Again, the Collin cars all caught for speeding on pit road, so having to restart toward the rear of the field. Allgaier up front.
Strong start to the day for that 5 car. Ryan Preece back behind the wheel this week, driving for BJ McLeod Motorsports. The last time we saw Ryan in this series and the last time we saw him in that 5 car was at Charlotte Motor Speedway, where he finished 5th. Now, Ryan is a bit of a jack of all trades when it comes to his racing talent. We've seen him race in all 3 series so far this season, a Cup Series regular, and last night we saw him in victory lane for the 2nd year in a row here at Nashville in the Truck Series. A guy coming from the Modifieds, the 2013 Modified champion. There is no doubt that Ryan Preece is a talented guy behind the wheel, and we're seeing him do that today here with that 5 car for BJ McLeod.
NASCAR on USA is brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. And by Toyota. Let's go places. Right now we go to pit road and Dave Burns.
Rick, let's review for the folks at home something that happened on pit road for Riley Herbst as he came around the 18 car of Trevor Bayne. You see he gets into the tire carrier Joe Hicks, who is injured but continues on as he gets into pit lane here. Now, one of the things you want to do on pit lane is not choose pits around cars you know you will be racing. So the 98 there in the middle, Richard Boswell, the crew chief, told me earlier today, we did that to ourselves. Boswell's team, the 2 teams on either side of him, and 2 others were penalized for infractions a couple couple of races ago, and they lost that selection. Normally you would select around cars that you're not going to be racing with, so you're not pitting at the exact same time. So this time, Boswell was concerned it would reach out and bite him. It did, and afterwards, on the radio, Riley Herbst had this to say.
Hey, but we got to try and give him a little bit more room next time. I know it's tight. I know it's tough. I know, dude. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't... It's tough, man. I know.
That was Boswell to Herbst, and they will try to get it right next time with a little more room to the car next to him. But Steve, you know, when you have selection, you try not to select around guys you know you're going to be heading to pit road with.
Well, and that's where some of those penalties of losing your starting position, really, it's the pit pick that hurts you. This battle for 5th is unbelievable between Trevor Bayne, Hill, Barry, you got Noah Gregson, and the 19 of Jones.
And Trevor just drove right around the 8 and the 21. Be able to get the clean air on the nose of that Toyota, and that shows Barry a way around. He's been trying to pass the 21 for a while, and I think that really gave Barry the confidence to go out there and do that. Now we're 3 wide back here. Austin Hill struggling right now. Going to lose another spot possibly to Noah Gregson.
Trevor Bayne joined me on the cockpit box during qualifying, and I thought he gave some real honest reflection. 5th start in this Gibbs car, and Junior Jeff, he looked right at me and said, I got to do something. I got to win. I'm driving Gibbs cars. I want back in this series. Like, he didn't shy away from what his goals were and what he felt he had to do with these opportunities.
He's calling around to all the owners looking for what opportunity might be there. He's making those calls himself because he feels like in 2018, he kind of sat back and waited for his phone to ring, and it never did. And maybe he thinks that people got the intention that he didn't need to race or didn't care to be back out there. But he said he's definitely taking a new approach where he's going to reach out and try to attack and find some opportunities for himself next year. He wants to be back here full time. He's got a lot on his plate. He runs a coffee business.
Yep.
He runs it all himself with his family. They got a family farm, 4 kids. Very, very busy. He does some studio work in NASCAR as well.
I had to do some self-reflection after he told me all that on the pit box. 3 coffee shops, 4 kids, and a farm. And you got me beat by quite a ways.
Well, he wasn't driving a race car, but not because he didn't want to. See his hand out the window. It shows you how hot it is. He had his hand out the window trying to get some air to dump inside of that car. But since he hasn't been driving, he really learned how much he missed it. And how bad he wants to be part of it, Dave.
That was the part that I liked, how we knew from Trevor that he really, really wanted to be full-time a part of this again because he loves it. Talk to his crew chief, Jason Ratcliffe, about their relationship this year and only having a part-time deal together. He was not surprised that Trevor was as good as he was. You remember that they came out at, I believe it was California and Phoenix, and ran very, very well early on in the year. So as Trevor gets more laps on him, as they learn each other even more, they just expect to get better and help send Trevor on that trajectory back into full-time in the Xfinity Series. Parker?
And Dave, speaking of the heaves, we saw Trevor put his hand out the window. A.J. Allgaier here running currently in 11. Take a listen to what he had to say under the caution just moments ago.
Yeah, my foot is, we're going to have to get some ice for my foot after the race. I don't know what you got going on down there. It's so hot.
And that's what you heard. His foot is actually blistering. He added on to that. That's his right foot, so it's just so hot in these race cars. Remember, he's also running the Cup race tomorrow, which will be super hot. And my watch right now is showing about 93 degrees, so you can expect to be probably upwards of 120 or so inside these cars. This is a hot day and hard work, Marty.
Hey, Parker, we've been watching those Colleague cars trying to come back up through the field after that speeding penalty. You know how hard it is to pass here at Nashville today? Tyler Reddick is a terrific example. Started 38th, almost went a lap down by the end of stage 1. Restarted 16th in this stage and has actually gone backwards. He's in 19th right now. He has struggled with the handling of this race car. Now, Junior, you were always the guy who went to the top, the first guy out, right? Tyler Reddick's been trying that as well. He has been trying every line he can here at Nashville to create some speed. And oddly enough, same exact car they won with at Texas just a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I've been watching him move all over the racetrack, almost a car length off the wall in 3 and 4 at times, just trying to find something. He's frustrated, but he's one of those guys that'll go searching. That's a great race car driver. You don't have to tell him where to go. He's going to go find it before anyone else.
Earlier we saw the hand go out the window of Trevor Bayne trying to get some air in there. Look at this, 135 degrees right now inside that car for Noah Gregson. Just to give you perspective, You know, if you sit in a sauna for about 10 minutes, that's about all you can sit in there. Well, that range is 150 to 190 degrees. These guys are going to be in these temperatures for upwards of 2 hours sitting inside these cars.
And I don't know about you, but I don't wear my long johns and a helmet into my sauna. So.
Oh, my goodness. 136 now we see
Crazy.
On the thermometer there for Noah Gragson. So hot inside these cars.
You know,
still.
Well, Parker brings up a good point about AJ that I think I forgot. You know, he's talking about his double duty. Of all weekends to do double duty, I'm not sure he would have picked this one if he knew it was going to be near 100 degrees.
We look off the Ford Performance camera of Riley Herbst ahead to Sam Mayer. It's Allgaier who's up front. He's got him by a second over Ty Gibbs.
Laps are quickly ticking down here in stage 2 at Nashville Superspeedway. Riley Herbst, he started this race on the pole, is currently running well here early, about halfway through. Riley's in an interesting situation heading into this race. He is currently above the playoff cut line by 77 points, which is quite a large margin, but there are still 12 races left to go in the regular season. Now Riley's looking for his first win, and of course a win would lock him in. But given where he's sitting right now, strong finishes are still incredibly important. And given the number of playoff spots that are still open for potential winners to lock themselves in, that 98 car is looking to have a strong run here today and consistency over the next couple weeks to keep them sitting where they are above the cut line.
Mondays on USA, don't miss the pulse-pounding, non-stop action of Monday Night Raw, featuring WWE superstars such as Cody Rhodes and Bianca Belair. Monday Night Raw, it's live Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern. Crowd enjoying what they're seeing here at Nashville Superspeedway, like Ryan Preece making his way back up into the top 10. Dave?
Up to 9th from 27th place starting spot. When I talked to Ryan before the race, he said, our car is really good. I just can't use it up early. I'm happy to give those guys a 50-lap head start, but here he comes, Marty, toward the front.
Hey, Dave, the folks at Joe Gibbs Racing have certainly heard the talk about JRM being the dominant Xfinity Series team as of late. So Ty Gibbs having a little better run today up there in the second spot. In the off weeks, Chris Gale talks to him about, hey, pick your spots and know when to pick your battles as well. It's a fine line. Yes, you have to stand up for yourself, but you can't forget, you got to race these guys every week. Steve, you're always coaching a young driver like that. Ty Gibbs still trying to learn where that fine line is.
Always coaching, and my friend Jeff Burton has reminded me that's what this series was for. I think I fell into the habit of covering this like a cup race, and Jeff had to remind me that these are the younger drivers. It is on national television for everybody to see them learn their lessons, but they are not the top tier series. It's the second series for a reason, and it gives these young drivers an opportunity and a platform to learn and make some of those mistakes.
You got to remember, a guy like Sam Mayer or even Ty Gibbs, they just graduated high school. I mean, these are kids that are just out of high school that are behind the wheel of these cars.
I think a few generations ago, you didn't see kids this young racing race cars. I mean, it just didn't happen. And now it's not uncommon, but that doesn't mean it's normal. It's still an extraordinary act these young men are doing.
We talked about A.J. Allmendinger doing double duty. He'll be racing tomorrow. Again, countdown to green on Peacock at 4 o'clock. NBC will have the race from here at Nashville for the Cup Series at 5 o'clock, and then Peacock once again, the NASCAR America post-race show to end it up.
And Rick, we're making a lot about the heat because it is tough on these drivers and on these teams, but I'm going to have to hand it to Nashville Superspeedway as we walked in to come up here to the booth, handing out cold towels. They have water stations for all the fans.
Ice
free
everywhere.
Water stations where you can fill your own container. And it says around 4 o'clock local. The front stretch should hopefully be in the shade for the stand or for the fans. So come out tomorrow and support your NASCAR stars.
Man, Trevor Bayne in the 18 almost gets into the wall off the 4.
Yeah, that's lap traffic right here is playing a little havoc on Trevor. Trevor using up all the racetrack there, and off of 4 that time, behind 2 cars, taking all the air off the nose, and just about washed up into the fence. Wow.
You heard Noah lift. He wasn't sure that was going to work out.
2 laps to go in the stage.
Allgaier trying to sweep 1 and 2. On the final lap now, has about a 2-second lead over Ty Gibbs. If he can continue it, it's the 7th time Allgaier will have swept the first 2 stages of a race. He's only gone on to win 1 of those before, so we'll see if he can change that. Allgaier through 3 and 4 for the final time, and it looks as though it's going to be Stage 1 and Stage 2 winner Justin Allgaier. Yes, that's 12 in a row now for Junior Motorsports. Ty Gibbs hanging on for 2nd, Mayer 3rd, Riley Herbst 4th, Trevor Bayne top 5 in Stage 2. Gregson, Barry, Jones, Priest, and Hill. 1 stage remains, and it's the important one, the checkered flag at the end of it, and the guitar trophy being handed out.
Stage 2 is complete, and Junior Motorsports continues to dominate here in the Xfinity Series. You may have heard the broadcast talking a bit ago about the youngest member of JRM. That's Sam Mayer, driver of the #1 Chevrolet. Sam is only 18 years old. In fact, he turns 19 this weekend on Sunday, so happy early birthday to Mr. Mayer. But you know, I talked to Sam a couple weeks ago at Darlington, and I said, a lot of people have noticed that you seem more confident behind the wheel of the race car. Would you agree? And he lit up. He said, absolutely. The biggest difference for me this year, having a full-time season under my belt, is being able to confidently learn from my mistakes. I'm not only making mistakes now, but I'm understanding why they happened and how to not make them again. We are seeing a tremendous amount of maturity from the young, almost 19-year-old Sam Mayer, and a continued strong run here tonight as he finished 3rd in Stage 2.
Represent your favorite driver. Take advantage of the amazing deals at the NASCAR shop. You can check out the greatest selection. There's t-shirts and hats, die casts, and more. All you have to do is visit NASCAR.com/shop.
I saw Chase Elliott, Harvick had
Yeah.
a little variety in that shop.
They have been checking out the shops and supporting their drivers. Riley Herbst and others getting ready to come onto pit road. Dave.
Double stage winner Justin Allgaier. Last time his crew got him off pit road in the position he came in, which was first. That's the goal here. He told his crew, I don't really know what to tell you to make the car better. Let's just not make it any worse, Marty.
Heads up race here on pit road, Dave, between the top three. Ty Gibbs finished second in that stage to the car. Really good. I could get to the 7. He was just a little bit better than me at the end of the run. Too tight. Center exit off for Ty Gibbs. For Sam Mayer, he said his car's so good in the long run. Problem for Sam Mayer is he's getting overheated inside the car. Even a young 19-year-old, he'll be 19 tomorrow, he's saying it's too hot in these race cars right now.
Big stop for Ty Gibbs. Look at that. If you can't pass him on the racetrack, well, you can pass him on pit road. And that's exactly what he just did.
All right, pit stops are complete following stage 2, and Ty Gibbs won the race off pit road. He will lead the field back to green here as we embark on our final stage at Nashville Superspeedway. I just told you a little bit about the young Sam Mayer, just 18 years old. Well, Ty is very similar. Very, very young, only 19 years old. This is only his first full-time season in the Xfinity Series. He did run a majority of the season last year for Joe Gibbs Racing, but in his short career, he already has 7 wins, 3 so far this season. And considering how well he's running here today, and given the laps ticking down quickly, no experience at Nashville. Very, very impressed to see how Ty Gibbs is taking on this new racetrack today.
I tell you, DJ, if you look at the most points game today, obviously Justin Allgaier has been dominant. Ty Gibbs is coming, but what about Trevor Bayne? He is up on the wheel, sawing on that number 18 car.
Yeah, one of the cars and drivers that we've seen be able to pass some at this racetrack. That seems to be most difficult. What do these points mean? They help you to get, especially those guys like Allgaier and Ty Gibbs and others that are vying for a regular season championship, which gets you more playoff points. Justin Allgaier's already accumulated 2 of those here this afternoon. So a big battle with that. Racing hard, very difficult to pass out here. But we're going to take it back to downtown Nashville with Rutland Wood.
Guys, I'm outside the historic Ryman Theater. This is where the Grand Ole Opry was from 1943 to 1974. We talk about Xfinity Series being where names are made. This is where legends are made. Dale Jarrett and I got to introduce Tim Duggar last night at the Grand Ole Opry, which is out at Opry Mills. But I tell you what, when you talk about a town that is built on hard work and legends, it's stages like this, guys.
That's awesome. And I asked DJ, I said, well, okay, so you were on the stage at the Grand Ole Opry. Pretty cool. He goes, yeah, I've been there before, but I guess I'd never been on stage. He goes, that was pretty cool. I was on stage.
A great pit stop by Ty Gibbs' team has got him the lead. He picked the bottom right here on this restart. Let's see what Allgaier can do with him.
The restart zone, and back up through the gears they go.
What a launch on that outside line.
Gibbs and Allgaier side by side for the lead. Allgaier making it work on the outside.
Gibbs fights back.
going to side draft down the back straightaway, trying to draw even into turn 3.
And Gibbs has to get out of the gas a bit through the center, and Allgaier's going to take the lead back.
Good, tucked in, tucked in, tucked in.
Big battles back there behind these guys for about 5th position. 3 wide.
Josh Berry in the 8, sliding up the racetrack, trying to catch it before he gets into Riley Herbst.
Josh has really struggled on restarts. Does not have grip.
Back for the lead here. Ty Gibbs to the inside of the 7.
Oh, he overdrove this entry big time. Allgaier recognized it, checked up, turned left to try to get underneath him.
Gibbs going to side draft now on the outside down the front straightaway. I think the 54 is in the preferred position going into turn 1.
Allgaier side drafts him on the inside, trying to get by. Now the 54 strong on the high side. He's going to take the lead back away from Allgaier.
Great battle between those two guys.
You got to give Ty Gibbs a lot of credit. That first lap on the inside turn 3, didn't slide up into the 7, held the bottom, waited for an opportunity to try to get back to the lead, and here he is out front.
How about the run we're seeing out of Austin Hill right now, fighting for 3rd on the inside of Trevor Bayne.
Austin Hill, we've seen him have so much success in the Truck Series. Transition to the Xfinity Series. A really interesting conversation with him. He told me the biggest transition, aero-wise, they're completely different, but also the visibility out of these cars is so much less than what you can see out of a truck. That was a big adjustment to him. Allgaier underneath Gibbs.
Look at the run Allgaier's got.
These guys are racing so hard.
Good, take it up, take it up.
I don't know anybody that races the way Justin Allgaier does. He will race you clean, but he will be right on you. He will get right next to you, race you so hard. We saw him battle with Josh Berry at Charlotte earlier this year. Incredible battle. We're seeing the same thing here with Ty Gibbs.
And nice rhythm, and you walk away about 20 laps.
They sound so calm.
Did you take the air back out of the left rear, Jason? No, we left it in there.
That was Eddie DeHunt and crew chief Jason Burdett talking with Justin Allgaier there.
Allmendinger back in the mix here, trying to take 5th place away from Hill in the 21. Allmendinger in the 16 to the inside in turn 3, dives down in there. Car looks really good. Had some handling problems on the first run. They made some adjustments to this colleague Chevrolet. Back in the top 5 after a speeding penalty, trying to close in on Jones in the 19 car in front.
You mentioned speeding penalties. One number that's missing from your pylon on the left-hand side is the number 1 of Sam Mayer, currently running in the 19th position. He got nabbed for speeding under the last caution, so trying to recover.
Anthony Alfredo also got hit for speeding in the 23 on the last stop. There you see the 98 of Riley Herbst.
Josh Berry now to the inside of Hill in the 21. Josh tucks back in behind him off the corner. Ryan Priest side by side in the 5 with Noah Gragson in the 9 on the outside into turn 1. Priest trying to move forward. Had a really fast car in practice with this number 5 car.
We see all this battling on the racetrack. You know, with over 80 laps to go in the race, these cars can run between 65 and 70 laps on fuel. So at some point, we're going to have to see another pit stop, perhaps under yellow. Fortunate enough to get one, or if not, we'll see green flag pit stops. Not very common in the Xfinity Series, but a pit stop will be required in this final stage. Marty.
Steve, you guys mentioned the speeding penalty for Sam Mayer. We also talked about how he was getting gassed inside the race cars. He makes a 3-wide move there to pick up a couple of spots. But here's what Sam said on the radio coming to pit road.
We got a spin. Josh Berry loose off of turn 2, contact with Ryan Priest.
Yeah, Priest stuck behind him, couldn't go anywhere. And so the caution comes out. A really slow spin for Josh Berry.
Well, Mike Bond didn't hit anything, just where the 5 is left rear.
Yeah, Josh got up the racetrack a little bit, and the 5 right there, a Priest tried to get into that hole. We don't know if there was contact or not before he started to spin, but he certainly got up the racetrack, and Priest was trying to take advantage of it.
Yeah, I don't think Priest made contact. Josh was kind of, they did eventually make contact, but I think Josh was backing up the racetrack, back in, swinging around. Let's take a look at the replay here. So Josh not quite on the bottom, but he's trying to get there. He's trying to turn the car back down the corner. he's spinning out, almost losing control. Priest gets into him. Priest trying not to wreck himself. Look at Priest sideways right there. Both drivers kind of get the cars woed down. Very light damage, if any at all, to both cars. Yeah, Josh is loose before Priest even gets there. There's air wrapping around the nose of that 5 car that's really compressed at that speed, and it almost kind of moves the car next to you.
Yeah, Priest saw Josh up the racetrack, and he's like, okay, there's my chance. And then as soon as he drives under him right here, now it shoves all that air. Now it's pulling the air off of the spoiler of that 8 car, and he was already loose, which is why he was up the racetrack, and around he goes. Josh Berry didn't do anything wrong there, just saw an opening and went for it.
And Priest didn't do anything wrong either, and I think he did a good job of kind of woeing things down to be able to save both drivers a lot of damage. Marty.
Well, you guys nailed it. So loose for Josh Berry. In fact, he told Mike Bumgarner, out of control, I can't even drive it. It's so free. You certainly saw that on that replay. So an interesting thing here, Steve, all these teams have 1 set of tires left. Obviously, you still have to stop later in this race. So they're going to put on scuff tires here for Josh Berry, saving that sticker set for later in the race.
Yeah, tire limit in the Xfinity Series, 5 for the weekend. You use the set in practice, leaves 4 for the race. So good tire management by Mike Bumgarner, the crew chief, saving that very important set of sticker tires for later in the race.
Topping it off with fuel. And this was the slow spin. Josh Berry, Ryan Priest, caution coming out.
Caution is out here in stage 3, and while we have a bit of a break, take a look at that running order and check out that 27 R Motorsports piloted by Jeb Burton. Strong day so far for R Motorsports. They qualified 7th, currently running 12th. Jeb finished this race 7th last year, a one-time winner in this series. He's looking to improve on that resume. Here's today at Nashville, like I said, currently running 12th, but still a lot of racing here to go. Laps remaining right along the pace car here in the Tennessee Lottery 250. And Marty, you were telling us the story about Sam Mayer before you were interrupted with that wreck.
Yeah, with the heat in the race car, here's what he said on the radio earlier.
Bad, I literally can't think straight. Yeah, my hose was blowing hot air, and now hot air is getting in through the hose because I unplugged it. And I just made 2 Aquafina bottles on my pad, I guess.
So, Parker, what they did is they put 2 ice bags, 2 bottles of water in on that stop when he sped down pit road.
And Marty, one of the things he'll be dealing with, as you see Justin Allgaier there weaving in Ty Gibbs, is pick up on these tires. We see that rubber laid down on these concrete tracks. What happens when you're under caution? You pick it up like you see there on A.J. Allmendinger's tire earlier today, all those ripples and everything. When you see the cars weaving back and forth, you're trying to get that off, but it's incredibly hard. If you see anyone mess up this restart, it might be that they just did not clean off those tires well enough.
Allgaier taking the bottom here. He was on the outside, prevailed, off into turn 1, now takes the bottom. Interesting choice.
Coming coming back into the restart zone. It's Allgaier on the inside, Gibbs on the outside this time. Bain and Jones in row 2.
Allgaier's clear. Great start right there. He can pick any lane he wants.
Sheldon Creed right to the middle. Trying to get a few spots, slaps at the racetrack.
What a run for Allmendinger as well. He's up to 4th now as he's behind Bain and Gibbs fighting for that 2nd spot.
Oh, real tight off of the corner there with Bain on the inside of the 54, Ty Gibbs. They are teammates, but Trevor's driving for his career. Trying to go out here and win a race to prove he belongs.
If Idell to 19 of Brandon Jones got in the corner, couldn't keep the car in the lane it was in, way up the racetrack.
Riley Herbst taking advantage of it. He comes to the inside trying to take that spot away from Jones.
Riley Herbst so badly wants to hear clear, clear. There he is.
He should have heard it. He was clear off the corner, but left a little lane there like the spotter didn't get that information to him quick enough. But he's able to take the spot.
Just a couple feet separating these two cars as we saw there with the Ford Performance on board.
Austin Hill had his front bumper all the way underneath Brandon Jones' rear bumper right there, trying to get that position.
Colleague cars trying to rebound from the speeding penalties. Hemrick is back up to 8th, Allmendinger to 4th.
Another car making a nice recovery back in 12th to 27 in Jeff Burton. He's gone to the back, I think, a couple times today. And right behind him, Jeffrey Earnhardt in 13th.
Yeah, probably passed the most cars already today. Allmendinger, though, has passed quite a few after he had to restart in the back. There's Sheldon Creed in the 2 on the outside of Sam Mayer.
Sam Mayer, we heard that report from Marty, how hot he is inside of that car, and he was having trouble thinking straight. This is an experience that Sam Mayer's going to have to go through. It's hot. This is the dog days of summer, Junior. This series races, long races in the middle of the summer, and you're going to have to experience it to really understand what it's all about and to learn to condition yourself. Some of it you can do in the gym, you can do whatever, but until you get in that race car and experience, it's nothing like it. You cannot replicate it.
Well, contact right there. Jeffrey Earnhardt on the inside in the green car, the number 26. And Jeb Burton on the outside in the 27 down into turn 1. Jeb won't appreciate that. Up top, the battle for 4th as A.J. Allmendinger, like a veteran, slowly, methodically working his way back toward the front of the field after an issue on pit road. Parker, what you got on the 16?
Well, Dale, the best part about this as he's driven through the field and goes by Riley Herbst here is just how upset he has been with that car. Take a listen to what he just recently had to say on the radio.
Too hot again on the time and scoring. I don't have it. I think still on the ragged edge, man. Full copy ragged edge.
I love that term. He's on the ragged edge. He's been consistently fighting, just having right rear grip inside that 16 car, feeling like he burns it off so early in the run, and it's so easy to blow past it with the throttle, as he's described it. On the ragged edge. Oh, Jeff Earnhardt's going around.
Sideways, another slow spin, and that will bring the caution out once again. That's the 4th time.
Work your way back up. Find your way back up here.
Caution has come out. Steve, the rest of the field to be on pit road here.
Yeah, we said 65 to 70 laps, 72 laps to go. So as we take another look, looks like the 26 is just in and just loses the rear of the car, corrects a few times, and ends up spinning out. Little contact with the 2.
Fortunately for Jeffrey, you see, he just couldn't keep the car on the bottom of the racetrack, up into the 2, Sheldon Creed. Fortunately, no big damage for Jeffrey.
So this is the awkward time for an Xfinity Series crew chief. You know, you have one more set of tires. You would rather wait. You know, we haven't run that long in this stage, but in theory, we are in the fuel window as we take another look at it. Ryan Preece and Jeb Burton doing a nice job with some evasive maneuvers to miss the 26. You know, you would hate to stay out here. It makes perfect sense to tell this thing run green to the end, and then you look foolish because you didn't pit inside the fuel window. So it'll be interesting to see, will Allgaier, Bain, Gibbs, the front three, give up that track position because they're inside the fuel window? Or will they stay out and try to wait a little bit longer? I do believe some cars, if not all, will come to pit road because if they believe they can make it from here.
Looking back from the pace car once again. And Allgaier will be the first that will make the decision when pit road is open. It looks like there's a safety vehicle right in the front of pit road, so it's not open yet.
Little things, that safety vehicle buys everybody 1 lap. So it seems silly, but if we're right outside the window, that 1 lap could be the difference. The other option here is, do you put fuel only in and save a set of tires for a caution with 15 or 20 laps to go? There are some options for the crew chiefs.
Or could you take these tires off because they don't have a ton of laps on them, put a set of stickers on, and if you get another caution, come in and put these tires back on. We saw in practice yesterday, when tires would cool off, they could go make good lap time on their second or third run out. So if you really wanted to gamble a little bit and try to get another win or get yourself into playoffs, maybe an opportunity here.
Well, let's take a look at the Toyota driver updates, and we've talked a lot about him today. Trevor Bain, we say this young man, you remember him as the young driver who was able to win the Daytona 500. He's the youngest ever to do it at the age of 20 and 1 day, and then left the sport. And it wasn't by choice, but was out of the sport and has fought his way back in, as Junior mentioned earlier, calling teams, saying, hey, I'm available. I want to be a race car driver. Has done an amazing job already today, but just a few starts this year. Hasn't had, the full season, but taking advantage of these opportunities.
All right, decision time. Field turns left. Not all. Split decision on the lead lap cars. Let's see what the ones that pit do, Dave.
And for Justin Allgaier, it will be 4 Goodyear tires and Sunoco fuel. They're about 2 laps short, but they should be able to make that up under caution, saving fuel-wise. His car is right where he wants it. Middle of the street, Trevor Bain, his car is too free. Needs that car to be tightened up. They'll do it with air pressure, Marty.
Dave, this is going to be a long run to the end of the race, and that has not been Ty Gibbs' strength today. 4 fresh sticker Goodyear tires going on, though. He said the last change did help, but I still need better turn in, Rick.
Gibbs easily is going to outdo the 7 of Allgaier on pit road. And it looks as though 44 of Ryan Ellis also up there, and Anthony Alfredo not changing tires, getting off the pit road a little quicker. But this was the incident, brought out the caution. Earnhardt up into the side of Sheldon Creed.
Stage 3 is well underway here from Nashville Superspeedway, and while we have a break here under caution, let's check in with our defending series champion, Daniel Hemrick. Now, Daniel won the series last year, but he returned this year with a new team, driving the 11 car for Colleague Racing. He's currently running in the top 10, running 9th right now, and Daniel does have 1 win in this series. In fact, it was that first win that earned him the championship at the end of last season at Phoenix. He has 6 top 10 finishes so far this season in his first year with Colleague Racing, and he finished this race last year 13th.
On Wednesdays, make sure to tune in, especially at 9 a.m., because Jeff Burton is going to join the crew on NBC Sports on Sirius XM. That's NASCAR Radio Channel 90. Pete Pistone and Mike the Bagman Bagley will be chatting it up with you, Jeff.
Always fun to call into those guys. I love when the callers call in and get to interact a little bit. It's always a fun show. You never know what you're going to get yourself into when you get on that show with those guys.
Talk a little bit about Nashville and look forward to Road America, which will be next weekend. Talked a lot about the temperature. You can see there 128 degrees inside the car for Noah Gragson. That's been about the coolest it has been in that. Now 127. All right, so the 18 is back on pit road.
They call it interference, which is basically that you're interfering with another. So right here, you see the 18 pit stop. Well, you see that the 2 tires let go goes into the 98. If we back it up and watch it again, it's pretty easy, right? The 18 brings their tires around, and they have to control them when they get back to the wall. They kind of let them go. They roll forward into the 98 pit box, and that's the real key. So watch right here. See these tires as they're rolling? They're fine, but they have to kind of stand there as they roll forward. They get behind this gas man. They interfere with the 98. That's interference. That's a penalty on the 18. Clear penalty. Great call by NASCAR. And also an issue, I believe it was for the 5 of Caprice. I think they're saying crew member over the wall too soon.
So now, Steve, if you're the 18, why wouldn't you just come back down, take the new set of tires off, put the old set of tires back on? You've lost all your track position. Why have new tires on right now and give up that advantage?
Well, you know, it's easy up here. There was a lot of those decisions I made as a crew chief or wish I would have made down there. You're arguing the penalty, trying to figure out the penalty. That is exactly what I think they should do, right? But now what they're trying to do is use these fresh tires. I did see them come back down pit road to top it off with fuel. I think they're closer on fuel than people are thinking, so maybe they're just trying to make that their advantage, have enough gas to do it. But tires are going to be an issue now that they're going to burn the setup coming through the field.
Longest green flag run today has been 46 laps. There are 67 laps to go. On the inside, it's A.J. Allmendinger. Outside, Brandon Jones back underway here at Nashville. Both cars getting a shove into turn number 1. Noah Gragson was pushing the 16. And Allmendinger easily clearing Jones as they come out of 2.
The first 6 cars chose not to pit. And to your point, Jeff, those old tires take off great. I mean, they look good.
A little more chaotic back there, 10th, 11th, 12th.
You see Allgaier back there in the middle of that mess, trying to work on the outside, trying to get in front of Ty Gibbs. I know they're not racing right now for the lead on track, but in their brains, this is the race for the lead right here.
Oh, we got a crash. Car's hard into the wall.
Sheldon Creed gets caught up in it, but the 27, probably the most contact there. Jeb Burton.
Jeb was having a solid day today. You mentioned it, Steve. Had to come from the back multiple times.
The 07, Joe Graff Jr., we saw him also involved.
Yeah, he stopped on the track.
Sheldon Creed had hard contact with the right rear.
Sheldon's rookie year in Xfinity has not gone as he has expected. Truck champion, just has not had the speed or the results in this series that we all thought he would have.
Yeah.
Start.
AMR safety crew out to him quickly. There's Joe Graff Jr. out of the car.
Yeah, I think when we expected Sheldon to get in this car, Mike Snyder was in this car the year before, and we thought, man, would Sheldon be able to find more performance? And it really hasn't ran better at all, maybe running a little bit worse. I think RCR across the board wishes they had more pace. Austin Hill's kind of been the best car consistently week in and week out, but still he has not been running as well as I think we expect or RCR expects. So let's see a replay of how this gets started. Jeb Burton right there being highlighted. Sheldon Creed right in front of him. Oh, Jeb just gets right in the left rear quarter panel. Joe Graff really nowhere to go. Drives through both cars. You got cars on old tires, cars on new tires, a lot of closing rate on the entry of these corners that they aren't really used to. They haven't been in this situation all day long.
You almost wonder too if Jeb got the, hey, you're 3 wide. You know, you're 3 wide on the top, and now he's like, oh no, I can't turn. And
yeah, I mean, it's really slick out there too. Right in front of this, crash, Brandon Brown is almost spinning out himself in the 68.
Yeah, Jeff, I kind of saw what you saw too, right? It went from 3 wide to 4 wide, and that put Jeb at 3 wide. Like maybe he just didn't have a good judgment of what where his lane was. Sheldon Creed, we heard the radio. I think what he's trying to ask for here is for a truck to push him off. His car won't fire. I think he would like to drive it back to pit road and have the opportunity to try to repair it. While there is significant damage, it might not be race-ending damage. Definitely, competitive race-ending damage. Right. He's not going to be racing for the win. But you mentioned it's a bumpy start for this 2 car, and they're trying to score all the points. So I think he's just trying to be pushed off.
Looks like the back end of a Pinto right now as far as how smashed that thing is.
That's never good, Rick.
No, it's never good. So they push him off.
They're going to push you off the wall, but they're not going to push you back to pit road to see if you can get started down the bank in there.
So he's trying to dump the clutch with the ignition on, trying to get it to fire. Obviously, it would not fire with the starter.
I don't know, something's wrong with it.
So now, if he can just keep it in gear, make sure the ignition's on, make sure the ignition switch on the steering wheel didn't get turned off, dump the clutch and roll start it.
Well, because the signature is, so you can't be helped back after an accident. That's the end of your day. So what NASCAR has said is, hey, we're going to get you off the wall to see if that thing will push start, but we are not going to push you all the way back to your stall to be worked on. I know it sounds silly, but when they made this damaged vehicle policy, it seems simple, but it's these small nuances that makes a difference, because to this team, this is their whole day. They're going to try to continue. I know it hasn't gone as they had hoped, but they're telling him to check the kill switch, but I think his opportunity is kind of over at this point. They're going to hook it up, and his day's going to. That was the old kill switch.
That must have been it. There you go.
That's good coaching by his team, going through the list.
See that left rear push forward. You got a bent trailing arm. The left rear, the whole rear end house is crooked in the car.
So I don't know if we can put a floor jack under the back bumper and jack it up, get it up.
That was because I have been in a position
You've done that?
I didn't check my kill switch.
Sparks coming out from underneath that car. Obviously a lot of damage. This is how it happened. 4 wide going into 1 at Nashville isn't going to work.
Stage 3 is well underway, and this race is going to be wrapping up here quickly. Ryan Sieg in that 39, currently running 6th. He entered this race the first driver to the good of the playoff cut line, 58 points above. Now running 6th as the laps tick down here at Nashville, looking for a strong run, hoping for a first win, and of course that win would lock him in today. But a consistent run will keep him where he needs to be, above that cut line.
Busy day at the track tomorrow. Countdown to green at 4 o'clock. You can find us on Peacock and on NBC at 5 o'clock for 400 miles from Nashville Superspeedway. NASCAR American Post Race Show rounds it out on Peacock at 9 o'clock. So a lot of action taking place tomorrow.
Found us a Dale Jr. shirt in there. Did you see that?
Yes.
Like that.
At the shop.
So it's an interesting situation. This yellow, the cars that pitted a yellow ago, they're sticking with their same as Sheldon Creed, taking the mandatory ride to the infield care center to be checked out. All this really did is those cars that pitted around lap 119, you see them mixed through. They're now feeling really good about their fuel strategy. That involves the 7 of Allgaier, the 54 of Gibbs, who we think are kind of racing for the win or trying to position themselves. Mayer's the same place. The cars up front, Allmendinger, Jones, Gregson, Hemrick, they wanted this to run, and they still want this to run. We got 60 to go. Let's run 30 or 40 laps. Let's get these tires good and worn out, and then have a caution come out, because then when we come put our new tires on, we know we're going to have to pass a bunch of cars, but we need a real tire advantage. This real quick yellow didn't help their position.
Before the green flag comes back out, let's check back in on the Peacock pit box with Brad and DJ.
DJ, it's 130 degrees in these race cars. These guys are just cruising around here under caution. What's it like? What's it going to be like when we restart? We don't talk about this enough. I know we talked about it a little bit today.
Yeah.
It's really hot.
Yeah, it is really hot in these cars. And that 130, where that thermometer is up top.
Yeah.
Down around the floorboard, it's at least 40 to 50 degrees hotter down around your feet there. And when you're riding around right now, you're getting a little bit of a break from the action, but it's so hot in here. It's so humid over here that it almost makes it hard to catch your breath and to breathe right now. So these guys aren't a fan of this. They're not able to come down pit road again and get a cold rag or some ice to put inside their uniform. So they're really, right now, as hot as they've been this entire day. They've got to figure out a way to take that off of their mind and get back and ready for the job they have at hand.
Wow, it's smoking down here, man. I'm getting hungry. Maybe I can throw a little popcorn down in that footwell. Get me some popcorn out of this.
Grab some popcorn, sit back, relax, and watch the final 59 laps of racing. Dave.
Rick, Richard Boswell believes his Ford, driven by Riley Herbst right there, is going to get great fuel mileage compared to the Chevrolets in front of him. Listen.
I like racing better up front, Richard.
This is what turns boys into men right here, though. We're about racing the people that are on the same sequence as us. And those guys are directly in front of you, 21, 68, 23, and 1.
All of those cars he mentioned, he thought they were not going to be as good on fuel and that Riley will have an advantage. Just be careful when you get around him, Parker.
And Dave, for Daniel Hemrick, that 11 car fighting back from that speeding penalty. We've talked about how hot it is. Take a listen to their team radio.
Oh, what the coldest bar in Nashville is, but that's where I want to go tonight. I mean, like ice cold, the bar.
I think you ought to go to the coldest bar or the bar top that is frozen.
That'd be great right now.
I believe that's his spotter, Brett Griffin, and team president Chris Rice there. And I believe you employ that guy, Dale, with a podcast or something.
Hey, he likes beer.
Well, I was going to say, even if it was 80 degrees out here, he'd want to do the same thing tonight.
He could be wearing a
how hot
parka.
it is.
Yeah. I love this shot right here off the back of the pace car. Kind of just puts you right in the mindset of that front row and what they're trying to do. The games they're playing coming around.
Coming up on 58 laps to go. Allmendinger, Jones, green flag back in the air.
Allgaier forcing the issue, making it 3 wide.
He's trying his hardest to stay in contact with Ty Gibbs as Ty's trying to get up through this field. Both those guys on new tires working hard on these restarts to take advantage of those tires. Allgaier right to the back bumper.
Gibbs came right down in front of him. Allgaier's right there. And those two fighting for the 5th and 6th spot.
And the lead of that strategy. That's what the fan at home I want to understand is I know it looks like they're in 5th and 6th, but the last pit, you see lap 119, in their mind, this track position between the two of them, if they think they're on the right strategy, they want to be the first car on that strategy.
Gibbs gets a great run from the high side of 1 and 2 to make this pass down the back straightaway into 4th position. Tries to set his sights on Noah Gragson right there in front of him in the 9 car in 3rd.
Back in coming out a little bit there for Ty Gibbs, but once again, look at this. The 98, Riley Herbst, the 21, Austin Hill, all the way down on the apron.
Riley trying to give him a bit of a push down the front straightaway.
The 31, Myatt Snyder, having some issues on the racetrack. I noticed he was slow off of turn 4, slow again off turn 2. Trying to get the car moving again.
He had just gotten back on the lead lap. He was a lap down at 1.5.
Got a flat tire. He's got a flat right rear tire trying to get to pit road.
Yeah, he was 2 laps down. Got to 1 lap down. Now was back on the lead lap, but obviously a tire issue as we see this move here. Jones to the inside. Allmendinger not able to hold him off as they cross the stripe. Jones scored as the leader, but now Allmendinger fighting back on the outside.
And Jones wasn't able to clear him. Allmendinger made that outside work. But Jones now knows the weak point. Jones got into that position because when he got to Allmendinger's loose. And Brandon knows it. So Brandon's working to get to that left rear quarter panel and that rear bumper on corner entry. Not to hit him, but just to pull that air off of him. Noah's trying to take advantage now of Brandon Jones. Brandon's got to go on a little bit of offense to get Noah away from him.
Right behind these guys is Gibbs and Allgaier with new tires. Really not as fast as I expected them to be. There's not as big a difference with tires as you might anticipate. These two guys actually racing each other.
Look at Ty, how far he drove that car into the corner on the outside.
Allgaier looking again to the inside. Door to door as they cross the stripe. Again, that's for fourth.
Right behind them, Sam Mayer on the same pit strategy.
Absolutely, Jeff. Talked about how hot he was in the race car, had a speeding penalty. The one has done a really nice job as he has continued over the last 2 months of putting himself in position for a really good finish.
And he's on the same strategy as Allgaier and Gibbs, both pitting on lap 119. It's still Allmendinger up front here at Nashville.
$50 laps to go here at Nashville Superspeedway, and there's a lot of conversation down here about the heat. You hear the drivers complaining about it, the pit crew down here, they're trying to stay cool. In fact, we've actually seen a few personnel get carted out of pit road due to heat, overheating, so everyone's just trying to stay cool down here, which is why when you highlight some of these drivers in the field that are running double duty this weekend, it's a very big feat. Guys like Tyler Reddick, he's back in the field this weekend driving that 48 for Our Motorsports. This is the third time we've seen him driving for Our this season. He actually raced this race last year, and of course tomorrow he'll be back in his full-time ride with RCR. Again, no easy feat when you take in the number of miles, the number of laps, and of course the temperatures that we're not only experiencing down here in the pits, but the high temperatures that the drivers are having to experience in the cockpit.
USA's newest reality series. It's Austin Dillon's Life in the Fast Lane. It's coming up following our Xfinity race coverage today, and you can catch new episodes on Thursdays at 9:30 p.m. only on USA. Look at that Titan Stadium there, where the Tennessee Titans play. Aerial coverage brought to you by Geico. Looking back at Nashville. And back here at Nashville Superspeedway, the gap between 1 and 2, Allmendinger and Jones, closed down once again to about 4 car lengths. Allmendinger had stretched it out to 5 or 6. How about Allgaier making the move now as he's running up next to his teammate Noah Gragson, fighting for that third spot.
Yeah, I feel like Allgaier is the one who's feeling the most pressure to get moving because the 54 was closing in on him, and it was a nice clean pass on the 9. Noah Gragson perhaps understanding where he is on tire life. I won't say letting the 9 go, but or letting the 7 go, but definitely didn't battle him too wide into the driver, showing some maturity. helping his teammate out a little bit.
Well, look at the laps since they last pitted. And Allgaier 24, Allmendinger 50, and Allgaier's a little bit quicker than Allmendinger, but not a lot. So no real advantage in tires, which Steve sets up. We get this next caution, sets up an interesting scenario. What do? You give up all your track position and put new tires on, or do you just stay out, or do you put old tires on? Very difficult position crew chief's going to be put in.
Well, Allmendinger and Jones will have to come to pit road and Gregson because they don't have enough fuel in the car. So regardless, they have to make a trip. The real decision maker will be for Jason Burdett, crew chief of the 7. Will a cold set of scuffs be better than track position? I think I would have to lose on track position first.
What's the number when they have to come in, Steve? I mean, you had mentioned close to 70 laps. So
70 laps, but they've had some laps of fuel or caution. They've had almost 20, so you figure they could go at least 80 laps. So they're going to come in at like lap 173, 15 to go or so. They're going to probably be out of gas. They can still go quite a ways. 20 to go, 20 to 15 to go.
Allgaier trying to get as much side draft as he can, almost makes contact. 19 down the back straightaway.
And the cars on the strategy that we were just talking about, Steve. Allmendinger, Jones, Gregson, Hemrick. All of those drivers in the top 10 right now that stopped on lap 93.
And this is an interesting situation here for Ty Gibbs. He is not going to get any favors from this 9 car. You see Gregson right on his door around turn 1 and 2, forces him to have to give the spot back up or give up the fight a little bit to try to take that 4th position. Ty Gibbs loose.
Around he goes. The 54 straightened back out by Sam Mayer. Now he catches it. Ty Gibbs, what a save, thanks to Sam Mayer.
Well, he got turned around, I think, because of Sam Mayer, so I don't know if he's really happy with that 1 car right now. A little tire smoke right there on the left front.
What damage is on the 1 car as well?
Still smoking a little bit on the left front, some contact there. Let's see a replay of what happened there. The battle for the lead's tightening up a little bit.
Talked about the history between those young drivers.
So let's see if there was contact with the 1. Oh, I think the one was close, but I think the 54 was getting loose.
Let's watch this. Still a battle for the lead going on while we're watching this, but almost looked the same as the Josh Berry incident earlier, where the car underneath. Let's see if they make contact. You see right there, the 54 is around. I don't think they ever made contact.
But is that air situation that you talked about earlier,
100%.
Junior?
Yeah, Jeff and I have a little. We both differ in our opinion on what the air's doing. Jeff thinks that the air comes off the spoiler of the lead car, which is very possible. I feel like there's so much air packed around the nose that it almost acts like a bumper, an extended bumper, and it shoves the car away. Because when we talk about that beach ball that we have at the super speedways where I can drive up behind somebody and push them away, I feel like that's actually what's on the corner of these cars, and it kind of spins that guy out.
A little compressed air maybe there as we flash back to Martinsville. Here's Ty Gibbs in the 54 getting bumped by Sam Mayer and get pushed into the wall. Not happy about that situation. So shows his frustrations at the end of the race. We mentioned that it's gotten heated a few times already in the 2022 season.
And this goes even beyond that. These guys had some history in the K&N series, ARCA series. They've ran each other really hard before.
Well, contact made there by Trevor Bayne and Sam Mayer.
But I want to be clear. Sam Mayer didn't do anything wrong right there. I mean, Sam Mayer didn't wreck Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs was up the racetrack. He drove underneath him, packed the air underneath him. The same thing we see every week in Xfinity Series. I don't think Sam Mayer did a thing wrong right there other than race somebody trying to take the spot. I don't think there was anything dirty about that whatsoever.
Well, Allgaier has made his way up front once again. Allmendinger running in the 2nd position. Jones, Gregson, and Bayne rounding out the top 5. Can Allgaier stay up front the remainder of 35 laps?
laps here from Nashville Superspeedway. Justin Allgaier is now your leader, just passing AJ Allmendinger for the lead. Allmendinger still an incredible showing here today in that 16 car, and still the leader in many ways in this series. In fact, he leads the series in regular season points ahead of Ty Gibbs. He leads the series in top 10 finishes with 13th, and he also leads the series in average finish with 5.9. He's completed all but 2 laps this season, so consistency has absolutely been the name of the game for AJ Allmendinger. Here today at Nashville Superspeedway, if he could pick up his 3rd win of the season, it would only be the 4th win on an intermediate racetrack for College Racing, and considering they've got 16 wins as a team, pretty interesting statistic. But AJ Allmendinger currently running 2nd here in Nashville.
Great tight battles and differing strategies up here in the top 5. Allgaier is out in front. Allmendinger, Jones, Gregson, and Bain all in the top 5. The 3 in the middle, Allmendinger, Jones, and Gregson, all have to come to pit road still. They will not have enough fuel. Let's go through the field. We'll start with Dave.
Justin Allgaier leads this race. He won the first 2 stages, and he's won multiple times in his career over time. Some of the things that he's learned, he's applying here today. He's kept that car out front, and with his program, his organization being as good as they've been this year, his ability to maintain, watch out for trouble today, has certainly helped him along the way, Parker.
Right, Dave, in the car behind him in 2nd place is AJ Allmendinger, but not really in the same race as Rick alluded to. Going to have to pit here for fuel at some point, most likely around lap 20 is about as far as they can go in this 16 car. They do have that extra set of tires sitting here if they were to get the caution to help them out that they were hoping for. And I love listening to great race car drivers describe a race car, because even though he's led 48 laps and run the top 5 most this race, AJ Allmendinger has described that car as miserable, which is just amazing, Marty.
Same story for Brandon Jones, who's trying to pass AJ Allmendinger there for 2nd in the number 19 yellow car right there. Just talked to Jeff Menring, his crew chief. He said we have to be on pit road with 20 to go. That's in 9 laps. But remember, this team just needs a solid finish, and that is it, Dave. They have not had a top 5 since their win at Martinsville.
That silver and orange number 9 making the move underneath there, Marty. He's on the same strategy, but Noah Gregson's not going to give up on today. He called last year a struggle. I said, what'd you do? He said, I studied a lot, and I found out where to be more aggressive in the right areas. He may have to be aggressive on new tires at the end of this race. He's going to try to take another position from Allgaier right there. He's going to get it. Behind him, the 18 of Trevor Bain. He'll try to take advantage as well. The local boy from Knoxville, Tennessee, trying to make good on his effort today in the 18, Rick.
Yeah, we see Trevor Bain making the move up here, and both of them have just passed Allmendinger. And so now Noah Gregson is about 4 seconds behind Trevor Bain. We see Sam Mayer in the 1 and the 54 of Ty Gibbs. Now again, there was a little bit of issue taking place between these two, and it looks as though the 54 will go by with no incident.
So if that was a choice by the one to let him go, that was a great mature decision to say, I don't want any part of this 54.
No, we didn't get enough pinch there.
Yeah, he's being smart.
Being smart, I agree. That's, you know, you can't go back and undo or did what you done. You have to make sure it doesn't affect your day any more than it already has. So I guess that's the only way you could say you're sorry during the race is give a spot back. Marty.
Well, Steve, they wanted to make sure Sam Mayer knew, hey, if you get back by the 54 or anywhere near him, don't touch him. Why? Listen on the radio.
Mind him, if he wrecks that 54, he catches everybody else up on strategy.
Yeah, copy. Don't need a yellow, just so you know, by 4.
So they reminded him, Steve, hey, don't mess with the 54 because there's 2 strategies at play here. You bring out a caution, that evens the entire field.
And we expect the guys that need to pit about 5 laps away, was what Parker reported. So Allgaier and Bain 1-2. They can make it on fuel. We assume they can. They're close, but I think they're okay. Gregson in 3rd must pit. Jones, Allmendinger must pit. And Hemrick all the way back in 12th is a must pit.
A little bit of traffic in front of race leader Justin Allgaier. He has Trevor Bain trying to track him down. They're running 1 and 2 here at Nashville.
Final laps here from Nashville Superspeedway, and some pretty big movers in the field given their ability to bounce back, I should say. We saw Ryan Preece and Jeffrey Earnhardt both face a little bit of on-track issues there earlier in stage 2, but both drivers have rallied back. Preece currently running 9th, and Jeffrey Earnhardt currently running 11th. Jeffrey full-time in the series, Preece a Cup Series driver. Both finishes would be great finishes for both those drivers and both of those smaller teams.
Closing in on the final 20 laps from Nashville Superspeedway. It's Allgaier and Bain, and right now those 2, we believe they can make it all the way to the end. Riley Herbst has moved up to 3rd. Now the guys that needed to come to pit road because they were going to run out of fuel are on pit road, Dave.
You sure hate to do it. Noah Gragson said nothing wrong with the car or the balance, but he does not have fuel to get to the end. Hates to give up 3rd place, but they'll change 4 Goodyear tires and give him Sunoco fuel to get into the finish.
So a track of this size, you're going to come out and lose at least a lap, basically a lap and a half to the leaders. Probably could have took 2 tires because they needed less fuel, but I think they're thinking with 20 to go, 19 to go, put 4 brand new tires on it, and you know, if it's 0.8 or 1 second faster per lap with 4 fresh tires, you're going to make up 19 or 18 seconds on the racetrack. So just take your 4 tires, take your medicine.
Stay on the up to speed lane when he comes out turn 2.
It definitely doesn't have a lot of grip down there. He's messing with that throttle. So you're going to have, okay, so here's the 9 on the back stretch. The leaders are a half a lap, basically.
Yeah, leaders down into turn 1. I think 2 tires would have been a better call there to give him an opportunity to try to run that leader down, maybe get one of the, put himself in a position to get a lap back if caution does come out late.
Yeah, because to your point, 2 tires, he would have came out basically on the leader's bumper with fresh tires, maybe on lap himself.
Noah Gragson right now has scored 20 seconds. He's a lap down, but he's behind Vargas and Alfredo for the free pass if the caution would come out.
Well, he's going to feel like a hero on brand new tires. Unfortunately, it doesn't help the pain of having to pit under green. We now have the 19 of Jones, who's came off the banking. He's going to come to pit road. We'll see if they take your two-tire thoughts there, Junior. Maybe try to shorten their stop and leapfrog the 9, at least be in position for the free pass. Marty.
Watching Jeff Mendring, you got to wonder if he kind of took notice of how much time the 9 lost here. Brandon Jones comes to pit road running 4th. Looks like it's going to be a 4-tire stop, though, and not a 2-tire stop. So I'm kind of surprised they didn't try and go with a little quicker stop here, guys.
4-tire stop as well for Brandon Jones. Now, 3.7 seconds separating 1 and 2, Allgaier and Bain.
So I'm going to lean on my old buddy Jeff Burton. We talk a lot about the drivers here being younger. While the crew chiefs have a lot of experience, they definitely don't have the tools we see on Sunday, right? When we talk about crew chiefs making decisions on Sunday, longer races, they have war rooms at home and communication with all these engineers. The Xfinity Series doesn't have that size commitment, nor do we see a lot of green flag cycles. So, you know, it's easy to say 2 versus 4, but this is a scenario they run into very few times over the course of the year. Nothing like the Sunday crew chiefs, who this is basically an every week choice.
Yeah, you talk about experience and Sunday crew chiefs. Well, they're going to work tomorrow. Countdown to green at 4 o'clock on Peacock. Cup Series racing on NBC at 5 o'clock, and 9 o'clock will be NASCAR America post-race show on Peacock. Once again, where we'll hear from the drivers post-race. Allgaier, as I mentioned, 3.7 seconds separating Allgaier from Trevor Bain. There's 14 laps to go now. Allgaier with a very good cushion. Does Bain have anything he can do to get by? First, let's go to Dave.
Well, Rick, I want to tell you about the conversation I had with Justin Allgaier as he leads now by 3.7 seconds. As he was getting ready to hop in the 7 car today, about an hour beforehand, he was eating a piece of pizza, having a little hydration moment. And I said, what about the performance of Junior Motorsports lately? He said, you guys have been very good. He goes, you know what? Racing is like swimming in a river. You can't stop swimming. If you stop swimming, you go backwards. You go with the current. As we see AJ Allmendinger on pit road as he needed to for that fuel. He said, we have to keep swimming and either maintain or go forward. And I'd say today, after this performance so far, with 13 to go, they have maintained. Swimming in the river, Rick, try it.
Looks like they might be going forward, too, because Allgaier is looking for win number 2 on the season. He's won both stages up to this point, keeping Junior Motorsports that streak alive of oval stage wins.
And just continuing that conversation, we saw a couple call cars come to pit road. They took 2 tires, so we'll see where the Allmendinger group cycles out for Noah Gragson.
Closing in on about 11, 10 laps to go. And Trevor Bain's been picking the pace up a little bit. They've been swapping laps between him and Allgaier, being faster, one over the other. Lap traffic's really depicting who's the quicker of the two. Being 3.5 seconds back, though, that's going to be difficult for Bain to try to close that gap. Something's going to have to happen for this 7 car to have some trouble in lap traffic to allow Bain to close. Trevor coming back from that penalty. Great comeback. But he needs a win to be able to try to get these opportunities he's looking for in his career to get back to full-time racing.
Yeah, Trevor Bain talked about this being a race for his career. Allgaier, on the other hand, as a crew chief, what are you telling him? With about 10 laps to go, he's got a 3.7 second lead. What do you tell him as a crew chief to say, okay, things are good, you're good?
No, I don't say any of that.
Not a word?
I ask how the car is. I keep him engaged. This is a hot day. Tires are drivers are exhausted. Some guys are on new tires. Some are on old tires. This have a makings of a late yellow. 10 to go. I'm not coaching my driver to say he's good at all. I'm being very factual. You have a 3.9 second lead, 10 to go. If we get a caution, what do you need with the car? I'm keeping him as engaged as I can keep him, not letting him wander, not letting his mind wander. This thing is never over until your car is sitting in victory lane.
Well, right now there's no car between the 18 and the 7. That means that no traffic in between those 2 cars, but there is still a gap of 3.9 seconds between the 7 and the 18.
Well, the maturity of Justin Allgaier. Oh, big wiggle there by Bain, but the maturity of Justin Allgaier, you know, he's been there, done that. He's been in this situation many times. You can't expect that he's going to be a guy that makes a mistake. Trevor Bain and his team, they need a caution. They need to get themselves in a position where they can try to make something happen on a late race restart.
And if you're looking for excitement on the radio, you have the wrong team. Because Jason Burdett and Eddie DeHunt are perhaps the most 2 even-keeled crew chief and spotter combination. I don't think I've heard either of them raise their voice or get excited at all.
Forward here.
Well, there you go. I mean,
yeah.
as matter of fact as you can be, there's Jason Burdett, the bottom right. Long-time crew chief for Justin Allgaier. I spoke to him this week as we prepared to come here, and man, you guys are running so good. And he's, listen, I'd love to tell you what we're doing different and what we changed, but we're really just sticking with what we've done year after year. Same processes, procedures, always trying to get better. So it's not like they haven't, but he doesn't think it's one thing that they found that's flipped the switch. This is just how Junior Motorsports operates.
Either Allgaier's picking the pace up or Bain's falling off the pace a little bit. It's 4.4 seconds now that separate the two. Under 7 laps to go.
So now the interesting part, you asked how I would be coaching Allgaier. Now I would perhaps if I'm Bain's crew chief. You got 4 seconds in front, probably not going to catch him. 7.5 seconds behind. Maybe if it's possible, ease up a little, maybe try to save a little tire life. Kind of say, hey, we're not pitting if a caution comes out, so if there's any way, I don't know how much you could save in the last 5 laps, but don't burn them up just to burn them up.
I agree with that call.
Watch this battle right here. Sam Mayer, Ryan Priest, the 9 of Noah Gragson, a lap down. Priest has battled back after some issues on pit road. Spin with Josh Berry where he had to slow down, lost some track position there.
Ryan Priest, driver for BJ McLeod. And they have a technical alliance with Stewart Haas Racing. Why is that important? That's important because Riley Herbst, sitting there running 3rd, has run in front of that 5 car all day today. That's a huge confidence builder for this young man, Riley Herbst. Having his best year in the Xfinity Series, starting to get more and more confident. Being able to run in front of a guy like Ryan Priest all day, that's a big deal for him. Be huge for his confidence.
Riley Herbst, not an old driver either. Out of Las Vegas, just 23 years old, but has been in the series a couple of years now. He's got Ty Gibbs behind him, and Ty Gibbs has been really the hottest thing in the Xfinity Series over the last 2 years, and he's running in front of him.
Yeah, look on this pylon also. Some guys having really good days. Got Jeffrey Earnhardt sitting there in 7th, Ryan Sieg in 9th, Moffitt in 10th. Some guys that play some good strategy right here are going to have good finishes today.
We talked to Jeffrey Earnhardt, as you mentioned, right there in 7th. It's a parity amongst manufacturers, right? We have Chevy, Toyota, Ford, Toyota, Chevy, Ford, right? So the top 6 has 2 of each manufacturer in it.
Yeah, the 45 of Parsons. There's a lot of teams going to have some good finishes if this thing goes caution-free.
Yeah, Parsons right now running in the 14th position as we come under 3 laps to go now.
Yeah, that one caution, split the field. Some guys stayed out. It's actually had to bring them to pit road. They anticipated a yellow to be able to give them a chance to put on some tires late, but that didn't happen. So it's giving some of these other teams an opportunity to climb up the leaderboard a little bit. Jeffrey coming back from a spin, going to be a great result for that team today. You mentioned Moffitt, Sieg.
Brown. Brandon Brown's not having solid the year we would expect he would have. Redscliffe, young man trying to earn himself into this series.
Still on the lead lap. 12 on the lead lap now as Allgaier goes down the back stretch with just a lap and a half to go.
Allgaier's made it look much easier than it definitely has been. We've talked a lot about the heat. We've heard from a lot of drivers. We haven't heard anything from Allgaier. Doing a nice job behind the wheel.
1 lap to go, presented by Credit One Bank. 1 1/3 miles remaining for Justin Allgaier as he's looking for his 18th career win in the Xfinity Series. Many have talked about Allgaier and his talents. Would they ever make it to the Cup Series? He knows that that would be an opportunity he would cherish. He continues to go out and do the best that he can. Run for a championship in the Xfinity Series. This will be win number 2 on the 2022 season. And Justin Allgaier is going to win in Nashville.
I wanted to win in Las Vegas for a long time, boys. And that was a butt kicking. Awesome job. Awesome job. Thank y'all boys so much, man. Never gets old driving a race car that good, I can assure you of that. Put it to them today, boys. This one's for your dad, Justin. Very, very much, Jason. Great job on the strategy call there. That was the race winner.
Allgaier now the 5th season with at least 2 wins in the Xfinity Series.
Talk about always wanting to win at Nashville, and I think I know why. There's certain racetracks that give away a very unique trophy that you can only attain at that specific track, and the guitar they used to give away at fairgrounds years ago when the Cup Series ran there in the 70s and the 80s, and now here at the Speedway. It's been given to these teams for years here.
Yeah, Sam Bash used to design the guitars here that went to the winners before he passed.
It ranks right up there with that grandfather clock in Martinsville. It's just iconic, and this is the only way that you get to take one home.
It's a good town to have a party in, too. Seen run all day from downtown.
Good burnout there for Justin Allgaier as he prepares to climb out. To the roar of the crowd here, appreciative of his talents. Remember, these drivers have been inside the cockpit of these race cars for over 2 hours, and the temperatures we've seen over 120 degrees, so maybe a little more lethargic victory here for Justin Allgaier as he put on quite a performance. Marty.
To that end, longtime crew member Mark Armstrong brought out a water for Justin Allgaier, led all but 30 or 53 laps today. Wow, when was the last time you had a car that dominant, Justin?
I don't think ever. You fans that stuck around here in this heat, thank you all very much. What a heck of a race, man. I've been coming here a long time and love this racetrack and been trying to go to victory lane so bad and haven't been able to do it. So today was for the dirt racers, though, because it was slick, it was hot, we were sliding around, and just proud of this team. Everybody at Junior Motorsports, the Hendrick Engine Shop. To get Helmets back in victory lane, obviously they've been a staple at Junior Motorsports for a long time. All of our partners, Brand Professional Agriculture, Exalta, Chevrolet. That's my heart rate's still going high, but you know, my wife, my kids are back at home. I love them. I'm disappointed they're not here, but my daughter has a softball tournament today, so got a guitar to take home, and we're gonna enjoy it for sure. These black marks, they never get old.
These fans stuck it out in the heat. You stuck it out in the race car. How tough were the conditions today, Justin?
It was hot, but I know y'all were a lot hotter up there in the grandstand, so thank you guys for sticking around and watching a great race, man. That's the best car I've ever had. This Xfinity series, what Xfinity does for the sport, for this series, truly incredible. And this series is just so much fun right now, and man, that was a good race.
We heard Eddie DeHunt, your spotter, say this one's for your dad. I know he's always on your mind. He's always at the racetrack. What's been going on?
My dad's had some health issues, and at one point there in Austin, I wasn't sure what was going to happen. And some really good doctors, and we've gotten him fixed up, and he's been back at the racetrack this week, and there's nothing better than that. You know, this is all about family for me. This is what the sport's all about, and this is for all of them. I mean, it's for my dad, but this is for all of them. You know, everybody at this race team. I mean, I know everybody says their team works extremely hard, but I can't even begin to describe to you how impressive the race team is, how impressive these 7 guys are. Pit crew, Eddie, Jason Burdett, just proud of our team.
Big win for the race team, but also a big win for the Allgaier family, and glad Dad Mike is here to take it all in.
Big Gator, they call him, and Justin is Little Gator. He's going to grab the checkered flag. Big Gator's been around for quite some time, even when Justin Allgaier was winning ARCA Series championships about 2 decades ago. But now it's all about winning in the Xfinity Series, and he's done it 18 times. This is the 2nd win of 2022 for Allgaier. What a dominating performance today.
The race is complete, but the drivers are really starting to feel the heat and the repercussions now. 250 miles in this heat at Nashville Superspeedway is no easy feat, and you may see here behind me, ambulance, medical personnel are treating to drivers. They're all getting out of their cars and immediately following to the ground. Now, each driver goes through very specific training to get ready to run a race like this in this heat, which really just goes to show having this type of reaction when getting out of the race car puts into perspective just how hot those driver's seats are and just how much they're enduring at a race like this one. As I said, a lot of drivers, everybody seems to be doing okay so far. No specific updates on any injuries or fatigue, but everybody looking to get rehydrated here after that long one at Nashville.
Justin Allgaier has a checkered flag. He's going to make his way back to victory lane. And while he's doing that with smiles because he has won the race, quite a few drivers have been out of the car, either sitting outside their cars, getting ice put on them. We've seen some drivers taken to the infield care center. There's AJ Allmendinger, and he immediately has ice on his right heel. He's racing in the Cup race tomorrow.
Those floorboards can just get so hot. We heard him complain about it during the day.
That exhaust pipe runs directly beneath your feet, and the exhaust temperatures coming out of those cylinder heads are like 1,400 degrees, and all that works itself back directly into the car.
Try to cool those feet down as quickly as he can. Now he's going to pour the ice water directly on the socks. Try to get those feet cooled down as quickly. And we see the AMR safety crew there also attending to these drivers. We saw Ryan Vargas. He was carted off as well just a few moments ago. Again, yeah, there's Ryan headed to the infield care center.
It's a tough grind to finish these races out. 19th for Ryan Vargas. Just remember, this was shorter than tomorrow's race. We're going to get to see this all over again for those Cup drivers. That new car is going to be really tested. The cooling and whatever the teams have done. You said prepare, right?
Yeah.
Junior, what these guys have done to prepare, it's going to be tested tomorrow.
We know that it's been difficult trying to figure out how to get those new next-gen cars to cool down. This is going to be the first real test, I think, for that heat inside the car for tomorrow. But
there's your guitar.
Yeah, guitar going on top of the car. Allgaier going to be able to celebrate. He said his family still back at home. His daughter involved in softball, and so she's got a tournament this weekend. Mom's hanging out with her.
Well, Dad made it tough for her. Now she's got to win.
Oh, I'm sure extremely happy for Dad and what he's been able to accomplish. Now he's going to be able to celebrate with the team. And the coveted guitar. And as he's celebrating, let's check in with Ty Gibbs. He's with Parker.
Ty Gibbs finishes 4th here on a really hot day at Nashville. I can see the sweat stains on your suit there. How tough was that?
Yeah, it was, I think we had a really fast Monster Energy Toyota GR Supra. I can't thank TRD enough, and, all glory to God, just got hit there and just got a little damage on my left front, and it hurt us for the rest of that race, Parker. But overall, a good day. I'll take it. Had a shot there to win, but 7 was good. Congratulations to that team and Junior, and we'll just hammer down and keep going. Road America's next one, so if you think this is hot, we'll move on to the Road America. Somehow it's hot in Wisconsin, so I don't know.
So you did get spun out there from the one car, Sam Mayer. It looked like maybe it was air. Did you feel a touch? What was your point of view from that incident?
Yeah, he just packed air on my left rear, and I got out there, and he drove into me. But it's just part of it. Hopefully he learns from it, and we don't have to go through that again. But like I said, I've done that mistake too, the 39 in the beginning of the year. So, it's just part of it, part of learning experience. But overall, thank you to my guys. Thank you to Chris Gale, Monster Energy, Toyota, TRD. There's so many people that help. Thank you to all of them. Thank you to my crew chief and my team. Hopefully we can hammer down at Road America.
You and Sam talk about the incident?
I don't know. He has my number, but it's just part of it. It's a learning experience. We're both the same age, so we'll see what happens. It looks like everybody's falling out of the seat. I feel pretty good, Parker. I'm like you. I'm going to try to go run another race right after this.
You can see that he's got all the enthusiasm and energy he needs, Ty Gibbs.
Wow, and we may have just seen some maturation there in front of us. Ty Gibbs showing a little abstinence, I guess, when it comes to having anger toward another driver that he got involved with on the racetrack.
Yeah, saw a little bit of his, some mature driving earlier in the race, trying to, get the lead from Allgaier and staying off his door and not sliding up the racetrack like you'd see rookie guys do. But all these guys are learning on the fly. That's what this series is all about. We're going to see them. We're going to see them progress throughout the year. Let's go down to the pit box. Dale Jarrett, the guys. What's going on down there?
What's up, Dale Jr.? Maybe that Chris Gale conversation with Ty Gibbs in the off weeks worked. I mean, maybe he actually listened to him, because it seemed like, I agree, Ty Gibbs drove a completely different race. So what's your take on that incident there that happened with the 1 and the 54? I mean, at some point, Brad, it can't keep going all year long, can it?
No, and I just think it was happenstance. If you're looking at Sam Mayer, and today it was so difficult to pass. I mean,
yeah,
he's got to keep track position, and they're racing really hard. Ty races hard, Sam races hard. I don't think Sam did anything wrong. Could he give him a little bit of a break? Well, maybe, but he packed the air. What are you going to do? You got to keep going forward. You crack that throttle, and he's gone. So I have no problem with that. I don't think Ty does either.
I'll just say that Richard Petty, Bobby Allison, and David Pearson did it not for a year, but for years that they had battles like that. And so these guys are close in age. They're going to be racing each other for a long time. Yeah, you can't go do it week in, week out, but we're going to see them battle. And I think that's racing. That's what this sport was built on. This Xfinity series, you're trying to make your name here right now so you can go to the next level, and these things are going to happen sometimes. But I appreciated and liked what I saw from both of them, taking a situation that could have gone bad, and both of them end up with good finish.
And I don't think you want to lose that aggressiveness either, because you're going to have to be that way in the playoffs coming up, by the way, which both of them they hope to be in.
Yes, they do.
You can't pass. It's hard to pass. We saw that today. So you can't give up 1 inch on that racetrack. And so for Sam Mayer, absolutely, you stay in that throttle. And we heard Ty Gibbs talk about it. He made kind of the same mistake early on with Ryan Sieg. It's a part of it. Both, they understand that. That's not a bad incident. That's over with. They've had much worse and probably will have much worse as we go forward.
The other side of this, Sam Mayer, of course, Parker, busy guy on pit road. He caught up with Sam after the race as well.
Sam Mayer finishes 5th, but you got out of the car, you had ice bags, you're pouring water on yourself, an extremely hot day, and you had the helmet blower fail today.
Yeah, it was definitely, that was one of the tougher races I've been in, but it was still tons of fun. Like, this track is just one of a kind. Like, the way you're moving around, like, one lap I'm running the top, one lap I'm running the bottom, trying to just take away air, and that was literally all I had trying to fight off for 5th. All I was thinking about is, like, I want that top 5, I want that stat. I want to keep it going, I want the points, I want to keep our momentum going, but it was that was a tough one, tons of fun, but I can't wait for next year. I want to come back and win it.
Talk to me about the incident with Ty Gibbs there coming off of 4. It looked like you packed air on his left rear. Were you intending to sort of move him out of the way with the history you two have?
Well, you know all about the aerodynamics of these cars and the trucks and everything, and it's so sensitive. Like, I was turning up under people because my car was turning really good all day, and I was turning up under people all day, and I honestly completely forgot about the aerodynamic sort of it. So it honestly was an accident. I do feel bad that I kind of halfway ruined his race because he had to work a lot harder for this top 5, but it's part of racing, unfortunately. I hope he knows that I didn't mean it. Obviously, I never touched him until he started spinning, so it's just, unfortunately one of those deals, but I hope we can just move on and be all right.
Will you talk to him about it?
If he wants to. I mean, I'll apologize either way, but it wasn't intentional.
So real quick on Sam Mayer, guys, just a quick note on that. He said he was gassed inside the race car. So maybe his mental faculties weren't the best towards the end of this race. Is that a fair point to make, DJ?
Yeah, the heat can do a lot of things to you, and it clouds your judgment and your vision a little bit when that happens. So you got to, we talk about how hard these drivers work on the sim. You got to work hard on your conditioning too for this part of the year.
Yeah, you really have to be physically fit to drive these race cars these days. It's just difficult. But I stand by what I said. He didn't do anything wrong.
No.
He was hard charging, driving that race car hard. I hope he does it again the next time. That's what he's supposed to do.
And I think Dale Jr. brought up a terrific point during the race saying, hey, this is Sam's first go through the summer stretch. So he's got a lot to learn about these hot races, no doubt about it. Justin Allgaier, the dominant performance today, led all but 53 laps. He's in victory lane, holding the guitar here in Nashville. Big win for Junior Motorsports and Justin Allgaier.
And that is win number 2 of the season for Justin Allgaier and the 7-team. 15 races complete for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Let's take a look at our point standings following race number 15. As I said, Justin Allgaier, that's the win number 2 for him this season. And Trevor Bayne, the Daytona 500 champion, who's running seems to be more consistently these days, finishing 2nd. Your pole sitter Riley Herbst finished 3rd. Ty Gibbs started this race 14th, finished it 4th, and Sam Mayer rounding out the top 5. He started 21st. Big movers, though, when you look at that, finishing